marketing is just simply the value that we add in order to bring people in. It's as simple as that. So it's not about, yes, there are components of having the structure in place, having the strategy in place, doing everything with intention. But at the same time, if we view it from the standpoint of offering value, we're actually going to have a far different approach to marketing, right? So as I said to you guys earlier, this is your sale. This is your brand. And brand means that you're creating content that's in alignment with it. This is a product, service, etc. Everything that happens in between here is marketing. So this is all about value. If you're looking at marketing with the intention of simply making sales, you've got it wrong. If you're looking at your marketing to offer value, you've got it right. Because guys, everything that I give you in the way of structure and strategy comes back to the intention that you have behind it. I feel like this is the most important piece that you must understand. If your intention is based on scarcity, it's never going to be successful. If your intention is based on abundance, you're going to give and expect nothing in return, but it's simply going to be a byproduct of it. And I want you to take a moment and have a think back to maybe a time in your life, or maybe even in recent times, where you have been very scarce. And you've sort of fallen into the mindset of not wanting to give too much away because you really want to get the clients. You don't want to give too much away because you think if you give too much away, you're going to give them the entirety of the solution and then you're not going to have people pay. Or you may have had another circumstance where you've been totally out of alignment, but you've been in scarcity and a fear mentality, and you've launched something based on this scarcity to simply generate sales and it hasn't worked. This is based on your intention. And any intention that is to primarily make sales and that is scarce is not going to deliver a result. Anything that is based on abundance, because when you're in an abundant mindset, you're going to give because you know that there is enough for all of us. You know that you can give value and still have clients come to you because you are the entirety of the solution. You're the entirety of the solution. I literally give so much away on my social media platforms, knowing that they're not going to implement it because they don't value it because it's free. The entirety of the solution is being in proximity with me. The entirety of the solution is having me hold them accountable. The entirety of the solution is having me as a sounding board to innovate with. Not a free PDF or a free ebook that I've written, because I'm well aware that not many people will take it and run with it because they don't value it. An abundance mindset is going to give. An abundance mindset isn't going to chase people. An abundance mindset isn't here to be the tacky salesperson, but instead opts for quality over quantity. And if you are creating any of this process, any of your lead magnets, any of your marketing with a simple intention to make sales, it will fail. If you're doing it because it aligns, because it lights you up, because you know that you can create impact with this, it's going to have a far greater result. Now, does anyone have some ideas of we're going to talk about lead magnets. And I would love for you to unmute yourself. So lead magnets are something that magnetizes a lead. So magnetizes a lead into your funnel. Does anyone have any context or an idea around what some examples of lead magnets would be?
An ebook?
Yep.
Or a short video series?
Pre-program.
Yep.
Premeditation or hypnosis track.
Yep. What else?
Office.
What was that? What was that last one?
I said office.
Office. Very specific. Yes. Wow. What is office? I love you. Okay, another idea is a masterclass.
Oh, yeah. Webinars.
Yep, same thing.
Yeah.
Another idea is a free event.
Or a podcast?
Podcast is more so what we do to build brand.
Okay.
Yeah. So what I want your marketing to look at, and you can write all of these ideas down and you can innovate and embellish on these, but the way that I want you to look at your marketing is to actually have something that you put out there. And I really want you to pay attention to this. Have something that you put out there to your audience that is going to very specifically attract your ideal client by the solution that you are offering. I'll say that again. The idea of this is for you to put something out to your audience, whether it be any of these, that is going to specifically identify your ideal client with the solution that you are offering. Let me give context. Let's use me as a bit of a case study. Business. All right, I've identified that I work with consciousness level 3s. I've realized they struggle with sales, speaking, leads. If I was to write an ebook talking into my ideal client, because the way that I'm positioning myself is to be the solution to their problem. If I'm going to write an ebook that's going to be a solution to that ideal client's problems, it would be an ebook on sales, generating leads, etc. What this is going to do, if I launch this, if I put this out to my audience, I wrote one not long ago called the 100K pitch. Put it out to my audience, and in one post, I realized with all of the 100 and something people that commented on it, that they were my ideal client. Because they were wanting to download the offering that I was giving them. Does that make sense to everyone? Perfect. So now we're going to start with an ebook, and we're literally going to create a lead magnet for every single one of these. We're going to start with an ebook, and then we're going to go into each category separately. I want you to write down 5 ideas of topics that you would be able to create an ebook with. Now, when I say ebook, I don't necessarily mean a 200-page essay. This can be an ebook that's a 5-step guide. This can be an ebook that only has 10 pages. And we're going to learn today how to make it look really professional. This just has to be, and trust me when I say, the lead magnets that you put out there, especially in the way of ebooks and PDFs and downloads, a lot of people don't even read them. But you've still identified them because they want to download it. But a lot of people download or say they want to download something because they think that's the solution, but actually reading it and implementing it is the solution. So I want you to take 5 minutes. So you've got until 1:50 to write down 5 topic ideas that you could write an ebook on that is going to talk into your ideal client. 5 minutes, go. All right, what do we got? And I ask you to share because you actually got me to give you feedback on this.
Mm.
I'll share mine. I've kind of gone crazy and written heaps.
Yep.
I've got
Who's your client?
my ideal client is a woman, a mum, basically,
Yep.
and stepping into her own worth, knowing her own voice. Yeah. So self-love, recipes to boost the energy, workout guide, changing their state from like a low energy to a high state,
Mhm.
parenting tips around school holidays because it's coming up to school holidays soon.
Yep.
Mindset, smoothie recipes, letting go and surrendering to the process.
Yep.
Empowering yourself, understanding your programming. So like what happened when you were younger doesn't define you now. And gut health. That's what I've written so far.
Awesome. Okay, so what are you selling them
What am I selling then?
out of the back end?
Like, just to kind of to step into who they're meant to be, basically.
But are you selling them
Yeah.
like a product or a program or coaching, or like what are you going to sell them after they've come into your funnel?
Oh, okay.
You know what I mean? As a lead, like
Yeah.
what would be the pitch?
So I'll sell them into our Fearless Mums Clubs program that is a part of our Juice Plus company that we've kind of set up to empower women and mums to step into their own worth, basically.
Okay, awesome. And what do you find? Okay, couple of questions. Firstly, the people that you're attracting, are they good runners within your business?
The people I want to attract, yes,
No, the people
Yes.
that you're already attracting, are they
No.
motivated?
no. That's why I'm ready to, like, I'm shifting myself
Yep,
to find those ideal clients to run with me.
perfect. All right, and this is relevant, and this is why I love doing Q&As. And like today is about Q&A so that you guys get what you want. And it's really important that every question that's asked, you take notice of the answer, because this is where you're going to get the most value. The reason that I learned so much from Gary Vee was because I did 3 days on 2 occasions of open Q&A.
Yeah.
That's why. So guys, take note of all of this. Okay, the reason that you're attracting people that are low level consciousness is because you've got a group called the Mums Club.
Yeah.
Yeah. It needs to be, if you want to get runners within your business, because you think about it, the Mums Club, like there is no way that I would ever be involved in anything. And I'm just going to be so super honest with you, sister, because I actually really want you to succeed.
Yeah.
There is no way that I would join a group called the Mums Club because I know I'm not a standard mum.
No.
Yeah.
And I've totally gone out of my way to break a mold. And I've been ridiculed for that because I do have such a work ethic. And I've been judged, you know, by other mums at my daughter's school for that, because I'm actually earning the income of a CEO that's male, and yet I'm still a full-time mum. And there is a lot of judgment and ridicule that comes along with that. So I know me being involved in a mums club, it wouldn't be the right fit. What I think where your approach needs to go is like mums in biz, the mumpreneur, right? Like it needs to be targeted at that mum that wants to actually go out there and kill it, as opposed to be a full-time mum and hope and pray that they might be able to earn a residual income, but they're not willing to do the work.
Yeah.
See how there's that shift? Like if I had a group called the Mums Club, I would be attracting consciousness level 1 people.
So it's just kind of brand new, like we're kind of shifting into it, but we're looking more at the fearless, fit and free, like that's our kind, like that's the notion of it. So it's just the hub there, but we're more looking at their fearless and they step into their own worth, like they have no bullshit excuses. They're ready to grow and ready to like take on their own, create their own wealth and create their own life through a community of ladies that, you know, and it's, so that's.
I just think that even irrelevant of what you put into that, so even if you are talking fearless and free and fit and all of those things on the inside, the initial touch point is the name of the group.
Yep. Okay.
You know what I mean? So I would talk to the people that you created it with and just come up with some ideas of how you can actually target it to the mother that actually identifies with already being an entrepreneur, or already
Okay.
wanting to create that biz. And you're just going to see that you'll attract a totally different person.
Okay.
Because what you ideally want to do, the people that are in your team, the people that purchase your products are different, but the people that are in your team aren't going to be, as I said earlier, ones that you drag to the finish line.
Yeah. Yeah.
You
And
know?
that beforehand, that's what I was getting. Like I would get people that
Yeah.
just wouldn't do anything.
Yeah.
And I'm just like, I do so I guess I had to shift my mindset to kind of get to where I am now, which I have. Like I've had a lot of growth within myself,
Yeah.
and it's all comes down to my self-worth.
Yeah.
And since I've done that, like I started sharing my story like last week, and a lot of flow has started to happen. People have popped into my life that are quite authority figures
Yeah.
within their so yeah, it's just me. Okay.
Totally, sister. So what I would be doing if it was me as well, and we need to remember that everything that we're creating is always from our highest version, not what we are now. So
Yeah.
what I would be doing in network marketing, in order for people to want to join your team, you have to show them why you're different.
Yeah.
You're going to be a leader that teaches them how to sell, that teaches them how to market, that teaches them how to brand, that teaches them how to be fearless, that teaches them confidence. Right? And this is what I found most effective in network marketing is really structuring content, pull whatever you want from today and talk about creating a personal brand in order to create a successful network marketing business. Start speaking in a really authoritative way, because while behind the scenes, like I love all of the ideas that you've got for the ebook.
Yeah.
They're going to be a huge amount of value. And I would suggest that you at least try some of them.
Yeah.
But what I think is, like, if you had things that are more targeted at someone that could potentially already be looking at network marketing or already is in network marketing, but they're not happy with the company that they are with, if you reach out, because that's your ideal client, you want someone that's already got experience, maybe in Isagenix, and they actually have fallen off the bandwagon with the problem, that the product, they don't actually like the company and they want to switch over, they've already got the experience. What's going to attract that person is you teaching them the logistics of how to succeed in network marketing.
Yeah.
So your ebook could be more around connection to conversion.
Yeah.
So you could even talk about what we've learned today, how you've got to build a brand first. You've got to build a personal brand first so that you're that authoritative figure.
Yeah. You've
got to offer a huge amount of value in order to drag that person, towards you, as opposed to you pushing your stuff onto them. Does that make sense? And I think that behind the scenes, everything that you spoke about is absolutely relevant. It's just like you're here in a business version, and yesterday we spoke about relationships.
Yeah.
The internal realm. So this is the biggest piece that you guys have to write down now and understand. Give people what they want, and then give them what they need. So I'm well aware that I work with a lot of business owners, and what they want is the solution. They want to know how they can make more money, how they can create more impact. And that's what I give them. But behind the scenes, in my immersion, in my programs, in my one-on-one coaching, in my online platforms, I also give them what they need. Because half the time they actually need to have a reflection internally and have a look why they are where they're at.
That's where I've had a lot of growth within myself, not personally in my business, but I find that I've grown so much in myself is because I've worked on myself, and I've realized a lot of the stuff is from my programming. Like I studied psychology at uni, and I could have done stuff, but I didn't believe in myself. So it's because of that self-worth. So I doubted myself all the time. It was those diminishing thoughts that we were talking about the other day, yesterday. Yeah. And over this last 2 years, and from me joining network marketing, it's really opened me up to learn and grow within myself. And that's where I want to kind of delve into that, to help women, that's where, and I've never, like, growing up, I was never like a real girly girl. Like I was always with the boys. Like I always knew, like, drama was never my thing. And now I'm stepping into my worth and I'm like, actually, that was my issue with not owning myself, not loving myself. And that growth is really growing. And really the last 6 months really with myself, like I went through stuff and it's really helped me realize, well, actually, I've always had this. I just limited myself.
Yeah. So here's the thing, sister.
Yep.
You know that that's what they need.
Yeah.
They don't know that's what they need.
Yeah.
Do you know what I mean?
Yeah.
What they want is very different to what they need.
Yeah.
A lot of the time. So even when I was in the nutritional space, what they wanted was to lose weight and lose weight fast.
Yeah.
What they needed was a better mindset, a better relationship with self, removing habits and behaviors and sabotage patterns, sometimes a breakthrough and an intervention, sometimes hypnosis.
Yeah.
But if I went out there and I advertised, and this is relevant for everyone, if I went out there and advertised, you know, a mindset program, or I advertised a group that was, you know, talking about all of the things that I did within my program, I wouldn't have actually been giving them what they wanted, because on the surface, all they wanted was to lose weight. They don't actually know that they need to assess every aspect of their life.
Yeah.
Does that make sense?
Yeah.
Yeah. So what I would do is absolutely try some of the ideas that you've got with the ebooks that you've got there. But I would also, you know, you could write an ebook on proximity, you know, because that's something that you mentioned. You know, being in network marketing has enabled you the proximity to people that are highly motivated. And that's one piece that I love about network marketing, because I actually believe it's a bridge for a lot of people to the personal development realm.
Yeah, it's true.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. And I love that. So while you can absolutely have that in there, I would also create some magnets that are more targeted at that person that's already in network marketing, that kind of has an understanding of these rituals, that understands that, you know, we are programmed. We do have a blueprint. Our dynamics are usually from our parents. Like, they're going to understand this already. Maybe they implement more, but what do they want?
Okay. You've really like kind of shifted my thoughts around that and that perception. Like, I was really caught probably going more level conscious one, and now you've kind of like, okay, no, actually this is okay, thank you.
And that's what you need in order to succeed in network marketing, sister. Otherwise, it's a game of dragging people to the finish line. And while
that's true,
you're going to attract consciousness level ones, and that's great, because as Jess said, they're going to make up a large portion of your business. What is really game changing for anyone that I've worked in network marketing is recruiting some absolute game changers and shapeshifters onto the team.
Yeah.
So then it's a matter of not you being this guru at the top and helping everyone else, but having multiple people that you can collaborate with and come up with great ideas and assist the team together.
Mm-hmm.
And I think it's just a matter of you actually understanding that you're far more, you've got far more ability than you realize.
Yeah. And that's what I'm learning. I'm very much growing a lot. This last 6 months has been huge for me. Totally, sister. Just keep immersing yourself in it, and change happens really quickly. Right? Yeah. Thank you for sharing. Mm-hmm. All right. Who else is going to share?
I'll go.
Yes, please.
Yes. So my name is Veronica Bennett, and I am a relationship and intimacy coach. I work with couples that are on the brink of separation, or individuals trying to heal from separation and divorce. I work with couples who are sick and tired of being on the hamster wheel and ready for change and action in their relationship to bring more love and intimacy. My program offers couples and individuals the ability to see how they can change their relationship and get the desired love and connection that they are searching for. I believe that relationships bring you your greatest pain or your deepest happiness. Unlike others, I've been in a blended family and a mum for just on 8 years, and I have been committed to the personal growth arena for just on 10. My products offer couples the opportunity to heal and bring back passion into their lives. My 6 ebooks are How to Save Your Relationship, 5 Steps to More Sex and Intimacy, 3 Ways to Communicate Better, Tips for Single Parenting, 5 Steps to Bring Your Relationship Back on Track, The importance of eliminating regret in relationships.
Love it.
Yeah.
Nailed it. That's awesome, sister.
Done.
I would actually start. I reckon it's really important for you to and like come and talk to me about it as well. Even yesterday, how we went through codependency and trauma bonding. I just think that, you know, Kerwin was over here earlier and he was just having a chat to Janelle about how we met. And when we first met, our connection wasn't based on chemistry. I said that to you guys yesterday. And it was really interesting because we met on multiple occasions before we actually got together, and both of us were kind of dumbfounded because we were like, oh yeah, like I can see something. We both found each other attractive, but there was no chemistry. And it was actually because our blueprints were very different, you know, because all of the relationships that we'd experienced in the past were based on these wounds and these trauma bonds. And were definitely mimicked from our parents, right? So for us to recreate, we realized that there was a huge level, and it was just all about divine timing. It was all about the willingness for both of us to actually take a look, because we both understood as soon as we got to New York, not that it was ever a planned thing, but when we got to New York, we both were doing the work so much that we understood that there was a huge level of compatibility. And the chemistry, in fact, came later. But what happens is, this is what Kerwin was just saying to Janelle before, like I was talking about yesterday. He was saying that, you know, what a lot of us do is we base a relationship on the chemistry, and we're, you know, so juiced up and we're so excited to be with this person and we're so turned on by them. And then what happens is when the chemistry fades, there's nothing left because there's no compatibility. And this is why there's so many marriages and relationships that are constantly breaking away, because their blueprint of relationships is usually based on chemistry. And I would highly suggest that you talk about it, V.
Yeah, because I tell people that you need to be friends, like Kerwin and you. Friends, build the foundation, build the friendship, the value alignment. And then there must have been some sort of chemistry, but there would have been reservation. But ultimately, you built foundation. And that's why your house is getting built so well now, right? The
Totally.
house is building, yeah.
Yeah. Yeah, absolutely, sister. I just think that it's a big thing, because every time, like, I have no doubt that later on down the track, we'll probably do a collaboration on a relationship program or something. But right now, it's just not, it's something that I'll mention. But I just think for you, what I see is every time that I speak about it, people are like, poof. And I think that it would create a huge amount of traction if you wrote an ebook, chemistry versus compatibility.
Yeah.
Or breaking down the blueprints, you know, like something like that, breaking down the blueprints of anything that has sex in the title is going to go viral. So definitely keep the one with sex in the title.
Yeah, breaking down the blueprints. And how to move from codependency to, because I was even codependent when we started working together a bit from my trauma. And I was like, and I identified that, and I'm like, fuck, I'm not going to be codependent with Chris. I'm not going to be codependent with anyone. But when you've been abused, that's very normal, because you're searching for love and connection. It's part of the cycle.
Yeah.
So something with codependency, because a lot of couples are codependent.
Yeah.
I need you to make me happy.
Yep. Majority.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah. Maybe I like to play on letters. So maybe it's like the something of codependency, the chaos of codependency, or do you know what I mean? Like play on the C.
Yeah.
Do you think that most codependent couples realize they're codependent though?
Nope.
I think what's a symptom of codependency? Because I think the book should be pick a symptom and then.
So true. Yeah.
Because you want them to, like you said, to give them what they want and then give them what they need. Explain to them then that they're codependent, but what they want is actually a solution to whatever their symptom to their problem is.
Totally. So it's like needing someone else to fill you up.
Yeah, exactly.
Needing someone else to keep breathing.
That's a good one. Needing someone else to keep breathing.
Yeah. And if you're talking into higher level consciousness people too, V, because, you know, I think that I would be your ideal client. Same thing, like a consciousness level 3 that you can actually create, because a lot of high level entrepreneurs who are extremely growth mindset, not all of them have great relationships.
They've got shit ones.
Yeah. Yeah. So if you were to work with someone like me, I'm well aware of what codependence is, you know, so it really depends on your audience. But there's just a couple of ideas that I'd play with and I would get them out there.
I think eventually, once I've got more traction, you're going to be just my ideal clients. High-end individuals, very straight to the point, can handle interventions, can handle the tough conversations that will implement.
Yep.
And I can bring in the tantra then as well, because
Totally.
level 3s want to go deep in every level and they want those total crazy sexual experiences, and
Totally.
which we can all get and we should be all looking for.
Not looking, just
Even
not.
though I'm not having sex with anyone, I am encouraging everyone to have sex if you like.
I fucking love you, woman. I love you. Have sex. Have a lot of it. Okay. Who else is going to share?
Younger, when you're getting fucked, when women are getting fucked, you look younger. I'm telling you, I'm aging. So go and look young, all of you.
Oh, you're the best. Okay, who else is sharing?
Can I go? So can I read out my brand thing first? Just so
Yes,
you
please.
can. Okay. So, hi, my name is Amy Zapanoski. I work with young women who are dissatisfied with the lack of connection and authenticity within themselves and others. My program offers the tools, knowledge, and guidance to overcome the pressures and struggles of being a young woman in today's society. What I see in the coaching industry is an overwhelm of self-help information and quick fixes that aren't sustainable long-term. Unlike other competitors, I've been where you are, I've experienced pain, and I understand the frustration of feeling a little lost and like the world is on your shoulders. I'm not only going to teach you, but I'm going to walk with you on this journey. My program guides you to become aware and understand who you are so you can build self-confidence and show up in the full expression of who you are.
I love it, woman. That is so good.
Cool. And I think for ebooks, like I was just thinking about like the want instead of what they need. So obviously people that, like my audience will be people that want to feel a bit more fulfilled and happier, and they want to stop comparing themselves to others, and they want better relationships with themselves and with others, find what they're passionate about, where their energy sort of thrives. So that's sort of what they want. So I don't know, ebooks, like something about relationships, like self-belief, confidence. I don't know, I'm sort of struggling with the ebook thing, like how to put yourself first. I don't know.
Cancel the comparison game.
Or
Or you could even do like 5 steps to a more courageous you. Something around judgment. So many people are being worried about being judged.
Yeah. To just have them like captured, like something that'll capture the audience.
Yes.
Alrighty.
You could even do something about owning the uniqueness of you,
Yeah. And I'm still going to, I think I'm going to change what we talked about in that coaching session. I'm going to do like authentic expression as a program, but I think that's just going to be like a coaching sort of thing. And then I will do like an ebook separately sort of thing. So that'll be like the higher program with me. And then I'll have ones underneath that are more like an ebook sort of style, I think.
So you're going to sell the ebooks?
I would like to sell one eventually, but I think the lead magnets first, I'm going to have to start off with that and sort of ease into it. Yeah, but I think with the ebooks, I want to do it in a way where I can form like some sort of group and like do a bit of a webinar type thing with it, like make it a bit more interactive instead of just reading an ebook. But obviously that's just thinking like, I need to sort of start.
This is the way that I want you to look at it. So your ebook isn't a product. It's not your product. If you're giving it away for free, it's a lead magnet. And you know how I said to you guys earlier, and I've drawn this up. So you've got your brand, you offer value, you capture the lead, and you sell. And I would suggest that you guys write that down. So brand, value, capture, sell. Straightforward and simple. So in your case, sister, you've got activated alignment. Is it activated? What's it called?
Expressive. Authentic expression.
Jesus.
I'm thinking, what is she talking about?
God, I couldn't have been further off. I'm usually pretty good.
You helped me with it.
Okay, authentic expression is your sale. right?
Yeah.
Over here, this is your brand. And what we're in the process of is creating value.
Yeah.
That's not what you're selling. This is how you're going to sell.
Yeah.
So you don't have to be a tacky salesperson and vomit your stuff all over everyone.
Yeah.
So what we're looking at here, guys, is marketing. This is actually how you're going to make the conversion because you're building the know, like, and the trust, right? So if you've got this sale over here, we're filling in the gaps to get them from brand to sale with all of the value offers that we can come up with. So that's either going to be an ebook. That's either going to be a masterclass. That's either going to be a free program. They are not your products. They are your lead magnets. And you need to view them very differently because this is how you're actually capturing people. You don't go out there and say, hey guys, I've got an offering. Do you want to spend $2,500 with me? And you make a sale. It doesn't happen like that. Remember, people have to consume a minimum 1 hour of your content in order to trust you enough to buy from you. Amy, you're a little bit different, babe, because you've got a huge social media following and there's probably people that are willing and wanting to buy from you. So you absolutely could go out there tomorrow, launch Authentic Expression and make sales. But you need to wait until tomorrow because we've got to learn how to sell before you do that.
I know. I think that's my biggest thing. Like I could have sold bloody 50 programs, but I don't know how to sell.
Yeah.
So all these people that reached out when I did launch my coaching business, and I'm just like, yeah.
That's okay. They're still sitting there. And we're going to make it really straightforward and simple. And if I can sell the way that I do, you can absolutely do the same because I was shocking.
Okay. Cool.
So you need to keep these separate. These aren't your offerings. This is just your marketing. It's like in the way of paid Facebook advertising. If you're putting ad spend behind ads, you don't go straight out there to a cold audience and say, hey, I've got a program, please buy it. What we do in the way of paid Facebook advertising is we actually sponsor maybe one of our long form pieces of content, maybe a long form video. We put that out there to a cold audience. They're consuming our content. Then what we do is we retarget them with more value. And then we retarget them with more value. And then once they've consumed a certain amount of free stuff, then we retarget them with an opportunity to jump on a call. And it's no different to organic. And I think this is the thing that we all have to understand is anything that you do in the interim that's free is not your product. This is to simply make the sale. So what's going to happen is when you create the ebook, you're going to have the ebook out there. You're going to put it out there. You're going to have people that comment to download that ebook. Every single one of these people is a qualified lead. Every one of them. So then it's up to you to build conversation and connection because conversation and connection lead to conversion. I'd write that down too. Conversation and connection lead to conversion. So the idea of creating an ebook is simply to put something out there as a magnet to specifically identify who the client is in your audience because you don't know. You've got so many people watching you that you don't actually know that they're watching. And I used to think that I was all over it. And I knew the people that engaged in my content were my ideal client and they're the ones that would buy from me. I'd have people come out of the woodworks and be like, oh my gosh, I've been following you for 6 months and I've never wanted to say anything, but I just had to tell you, I really want to work with you and whatever you're doing, keep doing. And I didn't even know who they were.
See, that's what I've got a few of those and I just need to get them to the point of sale.
Perfect. And like this and you learning, what I would suggest is you get them on a phone call ASAP and you close them. Because they're all really warm lead. The thing is, a lot of people think that it's just that easy, that you can, and it is in your case right now, but you've obviously, there's been a level of work in order for you to get your social media to where it is as well, right? Like it's probably taken time for you to build that social media following. And now it's just that you're not leveraging it. It's exactly the same scenario when Luca first jumped on with me last year. She had this huge social media following and she didn't have anything to leverage them with. She didn't have anything to sell. There were like these little bits and pieces, but I was like, yeah, but there's more. There's more to do. We've got to leverage this huge following. So then when she launches things, there's a huge but.
Mm.
So that person's a warm lead. And if you get on a sales call with them, there shouldn't be that many objections. You just need something for them to sell.
When I first launched, I think I got so overwhelmed with how many people messaged me that it made me avoid it. Like, it was like first world problems, but it actually like overwhelmed me. And then I had so many calls and I was like working full time. And I'm just like, oh my God, like how do I do this in my social media? So I feel like I need to like you were saying, how you have a contract already done up and you've got an easy way to like navigate all the admin stuff.
Yep.
Because I was just so, and then I didn't really believe in myself at this point. So I was like, yeah, buy from me. Like, so yeah, I need to stop avoiding it because when people message me, I avoid it. What does that mean?
I think there's probably just a little bit of confidence lacking, but the only person that's standing in your way is you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Exactly. Yeah.
You've got to leverage it, sister. You know, when you get a client where you totally change their life, you'll be addicted. It's interesting, actually. Michael Lane just posted a photo earlier, and it was like, passionate isn't enough. You have to be addicted. And I know for me, like Kerwin and I are both addicted. That's the thing. It's like, even when we're tired, we're addicted to it. I'm addicted to helping people.
Mm.
And I think that you get that hit when you've made a change of some kind. You know, when someone messages you, and I get it all the time now, but when someone messages you and goes, oh my gosh, I just wanted to let you know that you've totally changed my life, that I wouldn't be here without you. And I always put it back and say, yeah, you would, because, you know, you chose. But when you get that feeling, it's like, oh, I want more of it.
I help too many people for free right now. I need to stop.
Totally.
I think asking for money is probably my biggest thing that I struggle with.
No, you used to struggle with, not now. Yeah.
Exactly,
Money's
not
just a
anymore.
Yeah.
Anyway.
You add value, you deserve to be paid for it.
Mm.
Yeah? Yeah. Okay, one more. Who wants to share?
Someone else wants to go.
Laura?
Laura,
Oh.
yeah.
Go for it.
Hi, I'm Laura Corcoran. I'm a psychologist and work with people who have done the groundwork on themselves but are still feeling stuck and struggling with past traumas. You're dissatisfied with the past constantly showing up and affecting you in every aspect of your life. My program and product offers you a way to finally unpack this and allow you to truly be free from the pain. I see so many people with so much potential, but the past stops them from shining their light. Unlike other psychologists, I work with the mind and body as one entity to break free from all programs. I've been where you are and not only have the tools to support you through it, but I also walk beside you every step of the way. My program product offers you a way to finally be free from what holds you back, to be able to show up as you truly are without living in fear. You deserve to feel happy, and I truly believe everyone can have this.
Love it.
And then I've done a couple of ebooks because from Scale Up. I just continued that, which has been, I don't know if they're good or not, but I still do it. Like, you don't hear the feedback, but I see that a lot of people, because I put on my Instagram stories whether they want it or not. And if they do, and they say yes, I then go into the message and send them the link privately.
Yeah.
I don't know if that's better than Swipe Up. Does it matter?
No. So what I would do, what's really important about this process is that you're actually using these people. Like,
Yeah.
you're not just throwing them away. So there's a couple of ways that you can do it. You can either, I mean, what I've done in the past is I've built out funnels, you know, so that I've actually got a landing page for them to go to. I don't think it's necessary. But this is just because it's a little bit of a quicker approach rather than get their email address and all their details. So it'll just be like a swipe up to get them on a landing page, and then they put in their phone number and their email address, and then we've got a new lead in the back end of our system. But otherwise,
And then
what's important if you're doing it organically is that you are talking to them in Messenger. Going and just allowing them to download the ebook isn't going to bring you a lead. Then you've got to connect. What was the reason that you downloaded the ebook? Tell me a little bit more about yourself. Perfect. I'd love to offer you a free call. Let's have a chat.
Yeah.
You get someone on the phone. So everything that you're doing throughout this process is to build enough trust to get them on a phone call. Make something clear. I will make something so clear. You will not make a sale in Messenger. When you are connecting with people, do not discuss price of your products or programs over a message. Do not discuss any of it over a message. Simply get them to a phone call and discuss it on a phone call. If they say, I want to know more about your products or how much do you charge, my response would be, let's arrange a time to chat. When are you available? And if their response is, I just want to know the prices, my prices vary and I need to make sure that you're the right fit for my products and programs. That's people's scapegoat, right? Like you've got to see very clearly that people will hide behind social media because they don't want to be held to account. They don't want to be sold to majority of the time. But we're not going to sell. We're actually going to add value. And we're going to reframe that whole process tomorrow. Does that make sense?
Yeah. And I think, like I said, from Scale Up, I think I've continued that with the ebooks.
Awesome.
Which has been really effective. And I'm noticing that there's more engagement on my stories with it.
Yep.
So I am seeing it. I think what I'm noticing though is that there's more engagement on my stories, but less on my posts. And I don't know how to feel about that, or does that matter, or I don't know.
Let me have a look.
Because I'm doing a mixture of like the quotes, I'm on there, so it's personal, and then I'm offering kind of like psychoeducation as well.
Love it. No, just keep doing it. You just got to be
just consistent. The only thing I'm doing is just one post a day. I think I need to increase it. But that comes down to that organisation we were talking about, the scheduling. I need specifics to be able to do it.
Yeah.
But I wasn't sure whether that mattered because I was like, oh, there seems to be more engagement on my stories, but less on my feed. And I'm like, I don't know whether that matters or not, but I am getting people approach me. And it's like you said, people that haven't even liked comments, they're approaching me and saying, I want to work with you.
Totally. What I would suggest for a lot of you, and maybe some of you with a lot more followers, your Instagram could be a little more crazy, but I would suggest for all of you to link up and send each other through each other's handles. And I would create a pod, like an engagement pod. Sometimes they can work, sometimes they don't. I'm in an engagement pod with like Adam Hudson and Joel Brown and Michael Lane and all of these like sort of big names. And we were really aware to do it properly. And what's really important when you're in engagement pods is that you're actually commenting with a lot of weight in the comment. So it's, here we go, Luca. Most engagement comes from stories too. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah, I was just going to say most of my engagement definitely comes from my stories because they're generally my stories are videos of me as opposed to just photos and the copy. And I think if you think from your own perspective, what do you enjoy looking at? It's so much easier to watch a story when there's a bit of writing, you know what's in there and you can flick through. I think people watch stories far more now than they would scroll. Are you having a great time there, Krista?
Yeah, my microphone.
It's just so much quicker and easier to just go to a story and you can flick through it so much quicker than to read a post, especially when you think about how many times people pick up their phone and then they put it down. Yeah. If it's too long, then they're like, oh, no, I'll just keep going. Yeah. So I find my engagement is not a problem, even though it comes through my stories as opposed to my posts.
Yeah.
That's all.
And I agree because from what I've listened to or researched recently, the more engaged people are. So the pod or sharing each other's handles, just support each other on that level. Yeah. Whatever the algorithm is on Instagram, it seems to get you higher and higher in there.
It does, but the comments, like if you guys start an engagement pod with all of you in here, and I would suggest that maybe all of you just put your handles in the group, or in the chat box and write it all down, but the comments have to have weight. Like they have to actually be longer than 10 words because Instagram recognizes like weight within a post. That's what dictates whether you're seen by more people.
Yeah.
And if they're just comments of 3 emojis, it's not enough weight. So if they're like, if you're commenting, I know for all of us, we have to comment more than 10 words and it has to be a reflection of what they've spoken about in the video or the post. Because Instagram doesn't like pods. And they know that a lot of people start pods and then they just quickly like and comment 3 emojis and that's what they do. So they're not going to shift it for you. But if it's like genuine conversation in the comments, you'll get more exposure.
What's an engagement pod?
Yeah, what do you mean by pod?
So a group chat on Instagram.
If everyone puts their details, Emma, are you going to start it, or do you want me to copy and paste and put everyone in? Emma. You know how you started it, babe. Do you want me to start the chat, or do you want to start the chat?
Yes, Mum. I started a thread.
Do you want me to take them and put them in Instagram? No.
Why is she yelling at me? Yeah, I started a thread in Velocity so everyone can just throw theirs on there and then we can all just go there and like each other, and then someone could start a thread. But I think we have to be liking each other first, don't we? We all have to be connected before you can start a pod.
Number one, it's a group chat on Instagram. And every time you post in like new up. You don't post the post, you post in new post up, or you can do 3 emojis or something that is going to signal that you've posted a photo. In the first,
everyone comments on it.
Everyone likes and comments it, but it has to be in literally like the early stages of the post. So ideally the first 2 minutes. The more engagement you get at the initial stages just after you post, the more exposure you get.
Yeah, that's what I've noticed.
Oh, that's a good idea.
Yeah, so it's just, and what I would suggest as well, what's going to be really beneficial for all of you is you share each other's stuff on your stories. You know, just take a great quote from each other and post it.
Because I think it's that as well, is that it's a mindset thing. Because, you know, you were saying before, if you feel like it's not working, change it.
Yeah.
But it's also like with the consistency, and I think that's where I struggle with my mind. It's like, oh, that post doesn't look so great. Should I change it? Or should I just continue on doing it?
You just post it and not look at it again.
Totally. Just you don't actually know. Like I've even realized I assess myself when I'm scrolling on social media, because I'm not scrolling to have a sticky beak. I'm also scrolling to see what my attitude and my behavior is when I'm doing it. And sometimes when I'm scrolling, I'll actually come across something great. I'll share it to my story and I won't like it. I've caught myself do it so many times. And when someone shares something to their story without tagging you, you don't know that they've shared it to their story. It's only when they tag you.
Oh, I thought you did. I thought you do know if they like share your story.
No, so if they share your quote or they share your photo without tagging you in it to their story, you don't know. They have to tag you.
Oh, I thought it comes up in your message that somebody added, like somebody shared your story.
It does if they tag you.
Oh.
Yeah, I didn't know that. I think a friend of mine, I was just scrolling through her stories and saw that one of my posts was on there, but I'd never been notified. I didn't know why.
Didn't tag you. Yeah.
Okay. Right.
Yeah.
Thank you.
So there could be people that are sharing stuff without you even knowing because they're not tagging you. And the amount of times that I've just shared heaps of random posts to my story and not tagged them, I do it all the time.
Yeah, but then people that look at the post can still press into their account.
Yeah, they can.
Yep, exactly.
I could have all these posts out there that people are posting it. No, I'm just kidding.
Totally. Okay, so next piece. We've figured out some ideas around ebooks. Now we're going to talk free programs. This is no different. I usually find that 5 days is the perfect amount of time. All you're doing is bringing someone into a container or an incubator and showing them that you've got the solution to their problem over a period of time. That's really all you're doing. So what I want you to do before I delve into the details of how to create a free program with all the logistics that are really important in order for you to make it successful, I want you to come up with 5 ideas of a free program that's going to talk right into your ideal client. 5 ideas. 5 minutes.
Hey, can someone tell me what we're supposed to do in 5 minutes? I just been to the bathroom.
5 ideas, sister, for a free program, speaking directly into your ideal client.
Okay, thanks.
Jess, we're taking 5 minutes to come up with 5 ideas for a free program speaking into our ideal client. All right, guys, do we have some ideas?
Yeah, I'll go.
Yep.
So balance. So I'm thinking like 5-day programs, because I think I did a 3-day program, and I think 5, everyone said to me that it was just too much in 3 days and that 5 would be better. So one would be balance. So for anyone that doesn't know, I'm Emma. I'm a women's empowerment coach. So I mostly work with women that are either in the workforce and transitioning into mum life, or are working mums and trying to find that balance and are overwhelmed with everything that they're committing to. So the programs that I was thinking about offering, one would be called Balance, which is all about learning the tools to simplify your life and creating the balance that you crave. Another one would be Thrive, which would be like a 5-day cleanse to reboot your health. Another one would be Align, a 5-day program designed to connect you to your soul's purpose and create the life that aligns to your values. One I was thinking would be Rhythm, creating daily rituals to empower you to be your best self every day. And the other one, liberate, free yourself from all the shoulds in your life.
And Luca, I agree. Holy moly, Emma, seeing a massive shift in you this weekend. So much certainty. I can see
It comes and goes. I was so out of alignment the other week when you guys saw me. I was like, I don't know who I am anymore. Yeah.
Yeah, love it. And you know what, sister? I love the title Rhythm. So yeah, embellish on that.
Mm.
And I would even have like a pulse line.
Yeah.
Yeah. Yeah.
Cool.
Love it. One more to share?
I'm happy to.
Awesome.
5-day free program, how to generate leads plus build out lead magnets, how to grow your social media and increase engagement, how to create more brand awareness, how to warm leads to make them hot and then convert into sales, how to create an experience for your ideal client that makes them repeat customers.
Perfect.
Now I just need to make it.
Yeah. While I know for a fact that if you do something on social media hacks to increase, that'll work and you'll get a lot of traction, I don't know how high the conversion will be because it's not specific to business. So every Tom, Dick and Harry wants to have a big social media following, and sometimes it's not for the use of business.
Yeah, true. Very true.
Yeah. While that would be wildly successful from a free program standpoint, I just don't know conversion wise if it would bring in your ideal client.
Would it be better to approach it from a brand awareness point of view and then give them the tools in that regard, just so that I'm not bringing in just people who, like, I don't know, people who aren't my ideal client?
Okay, here's the thing. I'm actually getting interviewed on a podcast next week, or I don't know, the week after at some stage, on how to use social media for business to increase business.
Okay, yeah.
Yep. So then remember, give them what they want in the group, give them what they need. So it could be, and you having business in the title is going to attract a different client. It's not going to be, you know, the 19-year-old that really wants to gain followers for validation. As soon as you've got business in the title, it's like, oh, actually, I do need to use my social media to leverage.
Yeah.
Yeah?
Makes total sense. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Perfect. All right, guys. Here's the piece when it comes to a 5-day free program. Once again, we're not throwing shit at a wall and hoping something sticks. There is a strategy behind how you do a 5-day free program. A lot of you were in Scale Up, and I hope that you actually took note of not only the content that I was offering you, but everything that I was doing behind the scenes to make it a successful container, to increase the engagement in the group. Firstly, you set up the Facebook group, basics. I'm going to rub this off, guys. So does everyone have these on here as ideas? Perfect. And what I want you to do, just the way that you came up with the ideas for the ebook, you can do that for the masterclass, the hypno track, the meditation track, whatever it is that you're creating, do the same process. How is it speaking into my ideal client and giving them what they want? Okay? When it comes to a free program, I have launched multiple free programs, haven't put my intention into it, haven't done it correctly, and it's been a complete flop. Then I came up with a strategy that was like I was able to duplicate to ensure that it was successful every time. So you're going to set up the group. Make sure that it is private. It's a safe container for people to express. Write the about description. And Seda, this would be an amazing thing for you to do to get people in an incubator to get donations. And maybe it's more of an ongoing group. In your about description, talk about the group. So say what it is, what's going to be included. But in the about description, you need group rules. You'll notice in Velocity, there's group rules. You'll notice in every single one of them, there is group rules. If people are sitting on the sidelines and they're lurking, they get removed. I don't want watchers, I want doers. One of those is no lurking. Another one is support others. In some of my group rules, I have your 4 billion years of evolution. Start acting like it. Another one, that kind of is covered there. Oh, I'm just smudging it. No lurking, support others. No victims. Or no, maybe it's not victims, maybe it's no whinging. Or maybe it's no complaining. Like whatever's most aligned with you. And this is going to create a bit of an ethos in the group. You want to create a community that are there to grow, that are there to become better. We don't want people that are going to get on Facebook Lives and talk about all of their problems. Complete ownership rule. Yeah, thanks, Jess. So maybe you could put something in there about taking radical responsibility for your life as it is. And this is setting a precedent as well. This is setting a precedent of what you expect within this container. You're doing it for free. This is how you comply to the rules. This is the most important piece. Offer a prize. Everything that I do, I offer a prize, and it's in alignment with whatever I've got on offer. I've offered a prize for velocity. I think in the last maybe month and a half, I've given away $12,000. You've got to give to receive. If you expect people to be in here, engaging, supporting, playing full out, you have to give them a reason why they're doing it. Not everyone. There's going to be a lot of people, and a lot of my clients do. But you can't expect everyone just to play full out just for the sake of it because they've got this thirst for knowledge. A lot of them need something that's of leverage. So this doesn't have to be a cash prize. I know one of my most successful clients, Ash, she is a PT and she is a nutritionist in the fitness realm. She's created a huge amount of success. She launched a free program that was all around women's fitness. And she was able to get, I think she got 500 and something people in there, had a huge level of conversion out the back end. And she gave away as a prize a free Garmin and a pair of Nikes. Here's the thing. In order for you, because if you have one person or you've got 2 people or you've got 3 people that want this prize so bad, you're actually then encouraging other people to lean outside of their comfort zone to go out there and play full out as well. So in order to be in the running for the prize, this is very important. In order for them to be in the running for the prize, they have to add 3 people. They have to share the post. They have to support others. And they have to take part in all tasks. If you don't implement this, your group won't work. And I'm just going to give you the strategy behind all of this. I'm literally giving you what I do and how I've created success. When you get them to add 3 people, in order for them, you're not going to just say add 3 people to the community just because I told you so. They're not going to do it. But if you're going to give them a prize, they're going to have motivation to do so. So if they're adding 3 people to the group, you're leveraging a new audience. You're getting someone else to do the legwork for you. You're getting in front of new people. Is this making sense to everyone thus far? I'm just reading a couple of you and I'm seeing you sort of drop off. Does it make sense to everyone thus far? Thumbs up. Perfect. So you're leveraging a new audience. You're getting in front of new people. You're bringing someone into the nurture sequence without you having to do anything. Then you're getting them to share the post that's advertising the group, which means that once again, you're getting in front of new people. The more people you have in this group, the more people you can help, whether they buy from you or not. It's about intention. Now, if I had the intention to do all of this, and you know what, from an outside perspective, some may like to differ. But if I did the intention to do all of this simply just to make sales, wouldn't have worked. Yes, sales is a byproduct of this process. My initial intention is to get in front of as many people as I possibly can, irrelevant of the sale, to help them. Because even if someone watches one of my videos and it changes their life in some way, shape, or form, I've done my job. And it's interesting. My stepson asked Kerwin only this morning. He said, "Dad, do you do what you do for money?" And his answer was no. And he said, "Well, why do you do it then?" And he said, "Well, why do you think I do it?" And he goes, "Well, I don't really know." And he said, "I do it to save lives." And he goes, "Well, how many lives have you saved?" And he said, "Well, what we've been able to track, a minimum of 1,000 people that were on suicide's edge, that just watched one of the videos and they decided not to jump." And if you start everything, and here's a perfect example of money being a byproduct, but if you start everything with the initial intention just to help, the money is going to be amplified because you're no longer in scarcity. Yes, this process generates more leads. Yes, this process brings you more sales. Yes, this process gets you in front of more people. But if you're wanting to get in front of more people to simply make a sale, it's not going to be sustainable. So the next part, support others. What you're doing with asking them to support others is you're building engagement within the community. And I'm sure a lot of you have probably can reflect and think back to a group that you've been in or a group that you've held and there's zero engagement. You post something and there's crickets. They have no need or reason why they should engage. So making this one of the rules in order for them to win the prize is going to be key. Fourth part, take part in all of the tasks that are given. This is going to inspire others to do the same. This is once again going to boost the group, to add more energy to it. Energy creates energy. So if there is people that are playing full out, it's going to encourage others to do the same because they're going to be inspired and they're going to feel like a level of permission to go out there and be stretched. Have you got all of that? Thumbs up if you've got all of it. Next part. During the process, and actually I'm going to add this in, which I thought was common sense for a lot of people. Give yourself 2 weeks to market it. 2 weeks minimum to market it. Do not launch it in 3 days' time simply because you've got an attitude of I've got this. Because the I've got this isn't giving you enough time for preparation. No diving in head first. Perfectionism isn't going to serve you, but neither is I've got this. We need to actually have a plan in place and follow the strategy. When you're advertising this, you can do it on Instagram stories. You can do it on Instagram. You can talk about it on Instagram stories. You can talk about it on Facebook Lives. You can advertise it on Facebook. You can put it in your Facebook stories. And because it's free, you can talk about it and promote it as often as you want. You put the link to the group that you've set up in your bio so that you're constantly feeding people into that container. So that's why you need 2 weeks to market it. Then when the container opens, have your start date. So have the start date. Then you're going to offer 5 days of huge value. Because remember, you're the entirety of the solution. There's been some things that I've covered today that I've spoken about in my free programs. You know what? You guys that are here are the ones that will get the result because you've got a different level of commitment, and with the investment comes the result. Because a lot of other people could listen to everything that I was talking about, but after the time of stepping outside of the container, they lose the motivation. And how many people can relate to an event that they've been to or a program that they've taken part in, and they're feeling so pumped, they're ready to take over the world, and then a few days later, they're back to square one, and they forgot why they started. Can anyone relate to that? What our goal is to find permanent inspiration as opposed to temporary motivation. You have to become addicted. The passion isn't going to last. You have to become addicted. And you know what, for me, being addicted to helping people is a pretty good addiction to have. Because there's a moment that you realize that it's so much bigger than you. And when I received messages of people saying that they were going to commit suicide until they consume some of my content, I know that I've done something right in the world. And that's got nothing to do with money. Money's just a byproduct of it. So this is huge value throughout the 5 days. During this process, connect with people. If you have genuine intentions, you want to genuinely connect. Message them, ask them what their intention is to be in the container. Ask them how they're enjoying the process. What are their biggest takeaways? Connect with them. 5-day free programs done properly take a huge amount of work. I've had a client that I'm working with for less than 3 weeks in New Zealand. She executed this at the speed of light and made 15 sales in the first day after her free program. Those 15 sales were at $2,500 New Zealand. And I've been working with her for 3 weeks. And I'm not sure what she's at right now. That was in the first day afterwards. You need to connect. And this is the thing about even this high-level client that I have, yes, she's built a great brand. Yes, she has a big social media presence. But you know the biggest piece? She actually genuinely gives a shit. Like, she gives a big fuck about people. She's there to create global impact. So her connecting with people is such an easy process. That's what she wants to do because she wants to nurture them. She wants to be there for them. On day 4, offer a call. I would be completely transparent in the initial stages to everyone in the group that they are going to get an opportunity to work with you further. So that you've actually framed it up and you've built honesty. On this call, you're going to offer more value. You're going to see where they're at. But what you're identifying throughout this process is the people that actually want to work with you. They've joined into the program in the initial stages because you've sparked interest in what you're offering. You've taken them through massive amounts of value. You've created know, like, and trust. You've built connection. And then you get on the phone to them, and it's no longer about a tacky sales process. It's about an offering to continue the momentum. But you've got to completely reframe this in your mind. Because a lot of you right now are initially thinking, I don't feel too good doing that. But it's the intention that's behind it. Because I know with absolute certainty, and you're going to realize this when we delve into sales tomorrow, you're going to realize that you have to have undenying faith that you are the solution to people's problems. And if you don't believe that you're the solution to people's problems, you are always going to struggle. The reason that I can do this from the right intention, this process from the right intention, is because I understand that people actually need me. They need to absorb my knowledge, my wisdom, to get them the desired result that they're looking for. I'm the fast track. And I have certainty and belief in that. So yes, I'm offering a huge amount of free value. But yes, of course I'm going to offer my services to people. How selfish of me otherwise? And that's the perspective. And anyone that was in here from the Scale Up group, I feel that I would actually be doing an injustice to any one of you by not offering what I have that's going to get you a result. Would you agree? Would you feel like I did you an injustice by going, okay, ciao, see you later, and expecting you to go and create change in your life? Put your hand up if you would feel a level of injustice. Totally. So being held to a high account and being called out on your bullshit, it actually shows us the places that we need to grow. So on the call, you're going to learn the whole sales process tomorrow. And irrelevant of whether they buy or whether they don't, offer them value and offer them a lot of it. Does that make sense to everyone? And would you like to ask some quick questions? We've actually got a guest speaker jumping on at 3:30, so I'll take 2 questions.
I'd shared a question in the chat. It was just about, is there a price point that you wouldn't go to from after your 5-day program? Like, is something over $5,000 too much to jump to after just doing a free program? Like, is there a good price range?
Okay, so I'm going to talk about business model between now and when Jamie Lee jumps on board. It's really important, and it's probably going to answer your question after we do so. At the back end of 5-day free programs, I've sold $30,000 products. It really depends on the quality of the person that's coming in. So whether they're already very familiar with your stuff.
Yeah.
Okay. If they're cold coming into the 5-day free program, maybe lower price point is going to be a benefit. Yeah. But I'm going to teach you structure. So I'm going to actually build a business model with you guys that will work, because we talk about like strawberry, vanilla, and chocolate. And what a lot of people do is they're like, well, I'm going to have this program and then I'm going to launch that one. I'm going to do one-on-one and workshops and this and events, and there's so many things. And it's like, holy shit, I don't even know which one to focus on so that I can make it effective. Right? And it's very important that there's always a process. When we're establishing what products and services are in alignment with us, there's a process where we're trying lots of things, and that's normal. But I'm going to break it down and go chocolate, strawberry, vanilla, and this is what I would do out the back end of a free program. Mm-hmm. Yeah?
Thanks.
That's all right, beautiful. I think that probably I would be wary of going above $1,000 out of the free program. But at the same time, it's really a matter of you using your intuition on that call. Like, I've been called out the back end of free programs to absolutely pitch something into a high level because I know that they don't need the thing in the middle. And they're bought. Just so you know, guys, that value is priceless. And if you don't launch a free program over the next 2 to 3 weeks using all of that strategy, you've wasted your money being here. Like, dead set. Because that can actually be the catalyst to create a huge amount of change.
Krista?
Yeah.
Can I, because I feel like I've had a little bit of a shift since I talked to you just before. My program I had on it was attracting more level 2 conscious people. So I had power of proximity, the power of your thought, understanding how their program affects them,
Yep.
finding flow instead of force,
Yep.
money abundance exercises, so changing their money mindset,
Yep.
and balancing, so working their schedule with family and work and possibly having a side income maybe. That was just there. Is that a better shift? I just want to know. So yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Be careful with money too, because sometimes when you're talking into money mindset, you're attracting level consciousness people.
Okay.
Yeah. So that's the only one, but everything else is great.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
All right, guys. So when it comes to actually perfect timing for that question, Em. So when it comes to doing these lead magnets, so you guys can go and play with all of the other ideas, and you're going to have a stretch task to take part in tonight. But you're not going to find out about that until this afternoon after Jamie Lee, because I don't want you to start anything while you're supposed to be listening to me. So what we're going to do is I want you guys to play around with the lead magnets that you want to put out there. Now, remember, you're offering these things for free, so you're not capped at how much you offer. Like, it's pretty straightforward and simple. People are like, yeah, but I don't want to have too many products. These aren't your products. This is what your value add is. You can offer a heap of value. I mean, I wouldn't go out there and be launching something every single day. You're going to completely scatter your audience, but get really intentional about it. Okay, perfect. You know, we're going to do a bit of planning tomorrow so that you can get a bit of a map of what your year looks like. In this month, I'm going to launch this product. So what do I need to do leading up to the launch of that product in order to make sales into it? Right. In this month, I'm going to launch this. What do I need to do leading up to it? This is key. This is the structure piece of it and getting organized, because when we have clarity, we absolutely move at the speed of light. It's just that a lot of us haven't had clarity. So when it comes to business models, ideally, we want chocolate, strawberry, and vanilla. That's it. We want 3 products. And I would say if you're at the early stages of your business, you have 2. And I'm going to give you some context. So in my business, I don't include my one-on-one as a product because I take on so very few one-on-one clients. That's never something that I advertise. It's never something that I offer until someone approaches me. My 2 clients that are in New Zealand actually were referred to me. They jumped on a call and said, I don't want anything else but one-on-one. Luca was the same. So in those moments, I take them on board. My chocolate, strawberry, vanilla right now is I've got Velocity, I've got Amplifier, and I've actually got another digital product that is getting developed now. So it's all online. So when you have these lead magnets, and let me give you some context, Amplifier is $30,000 for a year. Velocity, it's usually 5K, but because we're doing digital, it's 3K. So it's 3K for the 3 days. This online is going to be $2,500. And for this, it's 50K a year. Now you can see very clearly here, I've got this piece that is all delivery. It's an immersion with me. But it's not something that I'm only having in a one-on-one capacity over an extended period of time, so it's scalable. So it's a solid 3 days. And just so you know, you guys are getting just as much access to me over 3 days as a lot of my one-on-one clients in 6 months. Like, you're getting me solid for 3 days. This online does not include any delivery from me. These are only my videos and my handouts. And this is why it's a low price point, because it's completely automated. It requires none of me, but for $2,500, you don't get any of me, because I realize that my time is valuable. And if people are taking my time, they have to pay for it. When it comes to Amplifier, this is something that is offered to people that have already worked with me. And there is a qualification process. A lot of you are probably going to qualify to enter Amplifier because it's all money back guarantee. You don't get results, you don't pay for it. And you guys will be taken through the qualification if it's the right fit and if you're the right fit to enter into Amplifier. But it's qualification only. This isn't something that I offer without speaking to someone. Usually I will speak to them personally, but I will not get on the phone to them, and we're going to talk about this in sales tomorrow. I will not get on the phone to them if they are any less than a level 10 commitment. Ever. I will not waste my time. So what happens throughout this process is these are the sales that we can make. This is just for scalability purposes within my business because I want to be able to help consciousness level 1 people. But I'm certainly not going to put time into those people until they're ready to take radical responsibility of their life. So this is where they would begin, and then they have the opportunity to jump between these two, which is actually having my time. So what happens out of all of the lead magnets that we create? We're creating a value ladder of things within our business. So maybe you've done a free program up here. Maybe you've done a masterclass. Maybe you've written a free ebook. And you get these people on the phone. I could sell them into one of these two from that freebie. But then we don't only just want to attract the client and then lose them. Majority of my clients come back year after year after year. Not because there's any codependency, but because they know I get the result. And Luke is an example of that. So what we can do is from these two, with only a 2.5 or a 3K price point, then these people, or some of them, a small percentage that are absolutely committed, are going to want to jump into something that's higher level. So this is the offering. This is only for the person that asks for it. So that's not even on my value ladder. So, Em, to answer your question, it's like you've got the free program here. You can offer them, and your prices are going to be different to mine. You can offer them into something that's $500. Then you can offer them into something that's $5,000. It's the exact model that Kerwin runs as well. He has Fast Growth Summit, which is it's actually free at the moment because it's delivered via live broadcast. Fast Growth Summit is usually $47. He does an Australian and a New Zealand tour, and he pitches from the stage. They're sold from FGS into Nail It and Scale It, which is $4,000. And then from Nail It and Scale It, they're pitched into K2 Elite, which is between $40,000 and $80,000 a year to be a part of that community. But from Nail It and Scale It, he'll have 1,200 people at that event, and there may only be 200 that join the K2 program, because the same as me, there's a qualification process. And if I'm offering a money back guarantee and I'm giving the amount of time that I know I'm willing to give, I want to know that the person is absolutely willing to take radical responsibility and action. Because my brand is at detriment if I'm taking on anyone and everyone into this price point program. Make sense? Any questions?
I just wanted to know, like, as in a network marketing standpoint, what, like, how, like, I would go about that. Do you know what I mean? Like,
Yeah, totally. So the way that you're going to look at it is you're going to have I advise with anyone that's in network marketing, as we said earlier, to have a point of difference, right?
mm-hmm. Yeah.
So what I would do is, what product are you selling, sister?
Juice Plus.
Juice Plus. I would
Yeah.
create a program that goes along with the Juice Plus, as I said earlier, to be the entirety of the solution.
Yeah, we're already working on that. I'm working on that with the Side Buddy. So we've already started. Yeah.
So you would be looking at it in only two aspects. You've got the people that purchase the product and the business builders. Be very aware who you put into this category. There's a vast difference between people who just want to purchase product and business builders. So anything free that you do up here, you can either target it at this. So you might run a free program that is specifically all around the health, right? And whatever you're offering over here in the way of product, you could make a sale into the program that has the product as an add-on bonus. Alternatively, you could also run a free program on network marketing and how to build a team, or how to create personal brand that influences your network marketing business. These are your business builders. You're speaking into two totally different people in this way, because I know a lot of people take the product and then they want to join the business eventually. But if you look at it from a psychological standpoint, if someone can't lose weight, if they can't actually have that level of accountability to lose weight and prioritize themselves and nurture themselves, they're usually going to be a lower level consciousness and not so growth.
Okay.
Right?
Yeah. Yeah, definitely.
Yeah.
Okay. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Your beautiful husband Jess has a question, so we're going to answer it. This is my filmmaker that's over here. You can get in the screen.
Hey.
He's got a relevant question, so we're going to answer it.
Two-part question.
Yeah.
Is that from your chocolate product, your online product, to then Velocity, there was only a slight difference in price?
Yeah.
I understand it's online at the moment, and it would have been 5K live.
Yeah.
Have you got a recommendation in terms of what that jump should be, like it percentage-wise, or?
Yeah, it depends on delivery.
Sure.
Yeah. So did you guys all get that question? Okay. So Ryan was asking, when I had like the $2,500 product and I only had a small jump to the $3,000 product, he asked what the recommendation would be with that jump with the middle sort of product. Now, usually Velocity is $5,000, so it is quite a bigger jump. But what I said is it's very dependent on delivery. So for me, because there is absolutely no delivery in the digital product, it's completely automated. It can absolutely be lower price point.
Are you confident that's $2.5 grand?
So confident.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Awesome.
And only because the thing is, the reason that I can charge $2.5 grand with just a digital product is because I know that I jam pack it. I jam pack it. Because like the 3-day business immersion is, and you can break it down to like an hourly rate, right? Like I know for me, I'm not only putting in from 9 till 5 with you guys, but I'm prepping in the morning and I'm tying up at night. Like I'm doing solid days. So I'm actually taking into consideration the amount of time, the power of immersion, and realizing that a digital product isn't going to get that result. So I would probably say what's the price point of the low one that you're thinking?
For me?
Yeah.
Like about $1,000.
Okay, so if you've got $1,000 product, guys, this is really relevant for you as well. If you've got $1,000 product as your first value stack, I would probably go up. What's the price point of your top roundabout?
I haven't got a top as yet,
What
so
are you thinking?
I would probably say between 20 and 25.
Yep. Okay.
But it
So-
feeds into my second question, so I'll get back to that.
Okay, so I would go around $5,000 in the middle. If you're going like your high ticket is what's going to enable you to scale. So if you're doing between $20,000 and $25,000, that's going to be your ticket to scaling your business. This is really just to build your brand and to offer something for the people that don't necessarily fit into your ideal client, but you still want to have an offering for them, and it's going to build brand. So if you've got $1,000 and $25,000, I would do something around $4,997.
I think you answered my second question was that third product scalable?
This? Okay.
The vanilla 30K amplifier.
30K, yes. Okay, so let me give you guys a trick of how to actually scale the high ticket item. A lot of the people that work with me in Amplifier already or in one-on-one know this. This is absolute key. There is no point having a group program that only has intake dates. And this is whether it's high ticket and or a digital product where you are offering. So for instance, Velocity has intakes, but you want to be able to create something that people can join at any time of the year. Now, what I saw was I had an old program, can't even remember what it was called, but I'd have an intake in January, one in June, and one in November. Now, what do you think happened? There were 8 weeks. These were all 8-week programs. And by the way, if you're designing a program, 8 weeks is the sweet spot. So if I had one in January, I would make sales all the way from, maybe end of November through December through January. And then I'd have 8 weeks delivery. So then I'd make no income. And then same thing again, I'd start making sales here, but then I'd have 8 weeks delivery, make no income. And then I'd have a couple of months even after it on each side of these. And then I would have, making sales up here, no income during this time. So there wasn't consistent cash flow within my business. And while I knew I could go out there and get one-on-one clients, there was only so much time that I had in a day, right? And if the more one-on-one clients, and the reason that I charge such a high rate now is because I just know how much I put in and how valuable my time is. And I realize if someone requires me in that capacity, it has to be paid for. But what I did was I got to the stage where I had 25 one-on-one clients. I was trying to do all of this. And because I was getting upfront payments for a lot of my one-on-one clients, my cash flow was so sporadic. So here's how I fixed it. And if you guys are not taking notes, you've got rocks in your head, because this is the most valuable information that you will receive in business. I'm honestly guaranteeing you now, if you go out there and try to learn this on your own and don't listen to my advice, you will make every mistake that I made. And by you listening to me, you don't have to do that. Here's what I did. I created a digital platform for the content, because I did not want to have intake dates. I no longer wanted to create intake dates because I knew that was the problem. And in between the intake dates, I had nothing to sell to anyone. So I would have clients coming to me going, hey, I want to work with you. And I'd be like, oh, sorry, I don't have anything. Right? I created a digital platform with all of the contents. This is where I had the video trainings, PDFs, workbooks. I used Thinkific, brother, back then. You can use Thinkific, Kajabi. There's heaps of automated, they're like e-learning platforms that you can kind of brand up and create your own. But then what I did was I had 2 weekly webinars. But here's the trick, because what a lot of people do, they deliver all of the content on the webinar. And this is what screws them up, because if someone joins late, then they're not caught up with the group. And this is the thing about intakes. So my weekly webinars, or 2 weekly webinars, are only for Q&A, because they are consuming content here and irrelevant of where they're at. So they could be at week 1 and we're talking about basics, or they could be at week 8 and they're talking about sales. All questions will be relevant to everyone, because the power of a Q&A, as you guys can see, some of the questions that have been asked, you wouldn't have thought to ask, but because someone else did, you've had a light bulb moment. This is how you create a scalable model. Now, it's no different to what I have in Amplifier. Amplifier is a $30,000 product. And the reason that it's this price is it's because it's for high level people. It includes 4 immersions. So you get 4 of these with me. 24 group coaching calls. These group coaching calls are Q&A. 6 expert interviews. So other experts, so expert interviews, other experts in the industry that we jump on and do interviews. So whether it's through the immersions, whether it's through one of the group coaching calls, expert interviews to have another perspective or a perception on anything business. You get access to me one-on-one, but it's limited. It's not as much. And I mean, the person that I am, I like to say in the initial stages that you don't get access one-on-one, but Paul and Jess are both part of Amplifier, and you know, I don't think there's been a fortnight gone by where we haven't done a session because I just love what I do. So it ends up being that you get me one-on-one. 6 expert interviews, 24 group coaching calls. You get proximity. So not proximity to me and my network, but also proximity to all of the other badass people that are in there. And you get to leverage my network. You get the chance to speak on my stages. For instance, Paul is guest speaking tomorrow because I understand with this level of, let me admit Paul, he's back. With this level of investment, there is a level of certainty. And with that level of certainty brings me a level of confidence. So this is the reason why Paul's a part of Amplifier. He's speaking in front of all of you. So you not only have to build your own audience or leverage what you've got in front of you, but you also get the opportunity to leverage me. So this is how it's become scalable, because these 4 immersions are throughout the year. I'm constantly doing immersions. The group coaching calls are only Q&A. This is the part that makes it scalable. And then there's all of these pieces as well. Does that make sense?
The entire part I was missing was about the group coaching calls, and that just them being Q&A is the solution to it all.
Yeah. Ryan just mentioned that the Q&A part, the Q&A piece is the solution to it all. Because that's what makes it scalable. Because if you're delivering content on only the webinars, you've got intakes. What I want you to do is take the next 2 minutes to write down some ideas of what that business model looks like for you. It's progress over perfection. I want you to do a quick brain dump. That's it. Just a brain dump, ideas. You don't have to have it perfect now. It's going to come to you. But just to get things and thoughts down on paper, okay? 2 minutes. Okay, beautiful humans, we're going to delve back into this after one of my beautiful, amazing soul sisters shares her magic with all of you. This woman is the truest embodiment of everything that she teaches, and I love her so dearly. And as I promised you guys, I want you to experience multiple people's magic and not just sit here in front of a camera watching me all day, because I understand, you know, everything that we've delved into over the time that we've shared already can sometimes be overwhelming, and it can sometimes feel like so much to consume. And what's really important is that we're staying within our body. That we're staying within our body, and we're making sure that we're maintaining our energy in a really effective way. So I'm going to introduce Jamie Lee Curtis, and she's going to take you through something amazing that she's created just for you. And then I'll see you back on here at 4:30. There we go. Beautiful.
Thank you, beautiful woman. I'm so happy to be here. I've just cleansed the space and like dropped in, and I've got sage going everywhere, and I'm like, oh, let me just calm that down for a second before we dive right in. How are we all? Can you give me some like hand signals or some like dance moves on how it's all been? Show me. Yeah, get that booty moving. I love it. I love it. Krista, thank you so much for having me here. I tuned in at the start of the week on what I wanted to bring, and I sent Krista a voice note. It was like 4 minutes long, and it was pure power and fire, and it was called Fierce Power. I was like, I want to invite you guys to feel the truth and the essence of what it feels like to feel so powerful in your body and not need any external sources, not need the money in the bank, the boyfriend, the house, the car, all of these things in order for you to feel so solid and so powerful in who you are and who you be in the world. How does that sound? Yeah, I've got all these all these beautiful little head noddle. What are the boggles? The little boggle people on the car. It looks amazing. And as I was tuning in, I was like, great, we're gonna facilitate it's just going to be a real experiential experience. You guys have been here for like almost 2 days. You've got a whole nother day to go. I jumped in the Facebook group. I watched some of your lives. I see that you guys are doing epic exercises, and you're really stretching yourself. You've been in fire ceremonies and releasing fears and doing all the things, which is epic. And my intention for you today is to really take all of those pieces that you have already open to and really feel them in the embodiment of your body. And so we're gonna do some practices. But let me give you a little bit of a background and be like, who is this crazy loud person on the other side of the screen? My name is Jamie Lee Curtis, and I'm the founder of Wildfire Woman. And Wildfire Woman is the bridge between personal development and women's sacred embodiment work. And for the men that are here, Luke and Paul, I know that you are here as well. This experience is absolutely going to be for you as well. I've intentionally dropped into that. But I'm going to talk about the background of where this comes in and my passion for women and how that implements everyone. So just stay open, guys. I've totally got you. Krista told me that you guys were in the space. So my journey looked like this corporate career of success and really wanting to be somewhere in the world. And really that was coming from this place of like needing to feel okay. I don't know if you guys have experienced anything like that. You've probably gone down a road that you thought was the road, and then you've had this awakening of some sorts, and you've realized that it's not the thing, and it's brought you to the next step. Very similar, right? I became really, really, really amazing at my job. At 23, I was the highest selling sales rep for Nestle in Queensland. I got promoted to Sydney for what I thought was my dream job. I was in the marketing team. I went from being the top to the bottom overnight. And in that process, I realized that all of my self-worth was caught up in my job. And as soon as I wasn't the best at my job anymore, I didn't know who I was. And I had these beautiful synchronistic events where I had a manager that really tested me, and it really opened me to this place of like, well, what is all this for? If I'm looking around at all these people that I thought were living the dream and they're fucking miserable and stressed and nobody's connected to anything, then what is all this really for? Like, what is life really for? And it really started this unearthing and this deep diving within my soul and my psyche. And I didn't call it that at the time because I didn't know what that was. In fact, there was a woman that I met at the time that I was going to collaborate with in a business venture. And she's like, I feel like we're soul sisters. And I was like, you're a bit weird, lady. You're a bit weird. And you're probably going to hear me say some things today and you're going to be like, sister, you're a bit woo and weird. And that's cool. Just make your own words for it and we can flow with me. So I left the corporate space. I went to a Tony Robbins event and I started going deep into personal development, and I did all of his courses in 9 months. I burnt the boats. I left my corporate job. I didn't have another job to go to. I left on Melbourne Cup Day and flew to Fiji for the next course the next day. I was so committed, so all in, so in my masculine, doing. And over that 9-month period, I opened these beautiful places within me. I completely transformed my life. I forgave my mom. I had an intervention with Tony Robbins. I had all of these amazing things happen. And over those next couple of years, I started going back and crewing, and I started going behind the scenes, and I started really cultivating this not addiction, but this real passion for events and personal development and what it really looks like for people to open places within them and become all they are, which is a lot of the reason why you're all here today, right? You know there's more. Put your hands up if you're like, I know there's more. I'm prepared to do the work. I'm all in. Like, I'm going to be someone who makes it. Yeah, that's it, right? This is where we come from. And so over this time, I was doing all the things, right? I was showing up. I was like taking the action. There was massive resistance, right? I didn't quite learn Krista's philosophy of force and flow just yet, but I was doing all the things. I was ticking all the boxes. And along that journey, I was still hitting these walls with my business and with my results. I had these crazy high expectations. Raise your hand if you've got crazy high expectations. You're the first to pull yourself apart and the last to celebrate. Yeah, that takes a toll, right? You would know that takes a toll. And so over this time, I'm in this world, I'm crewing, I'm behind the scenes. I've had this intervention with Tony Robbins. I'm in the green room. Nobody's in the green room. I'm like seeing all this behind the scenes and this like epic personal, like the leader in the personal development space in the inner workings of all his events, right? And I just knew there was this bigness inside of me that knew that there was some version of that for me too. Raise your hands if you're like, I know that there's some version for me that's great, that's like big and bold and like there's more, there's so much more. That's it. And so I was on this quest to really understand and uncover what that was for me. And then by synchronicity, we all know what that looks like. Some of you have probably showed up here for the synchronicity. I got invited to these sacred women's spaces. And I started diving deep in women's circles. And at the time I was young. I was like 25, right? I had no clue what I was doing. And I ended up in these circles with these women that were like twice my age and like all the scale in between. And we were from all walks of life. And I ended up in these spaces where I started to have these experiences probably similar to what some of you had in your breathwork journey yesterday. Who had a really powerful breathwork journey yesterday? Yeah, beautiful. And so there's all these different ways that we can peel back the layers, right? And when I think about personal development, I think about we're developing the persona, we're developing the head, but the 80% of our body we're ignoring. Our body is a living library of everything we've ever experienced. The traumas, the pleasure, the pain, the childhood experiences, all of it, until we go in and we start to excavate and open and make space within our bodies, we're never going to feel the freedom and the aliveness and the fullness that is our birthright to feel. Who knows that there's like an aliveness and there's a freedom that's like somewhere that you're like, cool, I'm on my way there, but there's all these journeys that we go down to go there. And so I was in these spaces for about 3 years, these mystery schools. I'd never heard of them before. Some of the stuff that went down in these mystery schools, it was so new to me and so opening, but it was like these modalities and these methodologies of sacred women's embodiment and archetypal work and dropping into these like the scripture and the Mary Magdalene lines and some of these like ancient philosophies and experiences, right? And I was sharing these experiences with these women. And at the time, I'm like, okay, these worlds are so fucking different. I don't know what I'm going to do with these worlds, because in one world it's like, burn the boats, rah, yeah. And the other, it's like, we're all in our feeling and we're here and we're like making the sounds and doing all the things. And I'm like, this is so different. And sure enough, along the journey, I kept walking and I kept following. And there was a moment that in a breathwork journey, actually, that I had a vision. And that vision was of me in the center of a circle of women. And I lit the flames of these women. And then they turned to the women before them and lit the flames of those women. And they turned before them and lit the flames of those women. And I knew in that moment that there was something really huge there. And I held that sacred to my heart. And 6 months later, I birthed Wildfire Woman. And I knew that this was the thing that I'd been waiting for. This was the bigness of my mission and the thing that I hadn't quite got to yet. And Wildfire Woman blends these worlds. I call it feminine embodied leadership, where we really dive into the body and we make space and we become the embodiment of the business, of the vision, of who we want to be, of all of the things, right? And how you want to feel and how you want to create in your life. And we stop focusing on what's outside of us and we start focusing on what's within, and then we watch as it shows up in our life. It's this whole different approach to manifestation and creation and cultivation. And the thing that I've been diving into most, and as women, we are conditioned to succeed in a man's world, right? So a lot of us have got our success and developed the thing and created the persona to put on our man hat and create in the man's world and tick those boxes. But where is the divinity of the feminine and her gifts really celebrated? And I believe it's our responsibility at this time to really open to those gifts and deeply embody our power as women, and then show that to the world. And I believe when we stand hand in hand, side by side, fully in our power, the world will stop and pause and it'll take notice and it'll be like, wow. And when we fuel our women, when we nourish our women deeply from the soul, they fuel their communities and their family and all of their people, right? So it's our job to understand and uncover and open to this deep soul nourishment so that we can really be those pillars for our families, for our communities, for our vision, for our people. And I see it as a circle of women, and we sit side by side in the circle and we offer our pain and our grief and our joy and our love and our dreams and our desires and all of it, right? All of you is welcome. My mission is to open women to all they are and all they came here to be. And when we empty that as if it's to the sacred fire in the center of the circle, we are fueled by that, and we can turn then and we can be the pillars, right, with the mountains and the women that can fuel and feed their communities and their people and their vision. So there is the rundown of why this is so passionate. I'm so passionate about this, and why when we fuel ourselves, we can really truly create the change that we desire in the world. How is that sounding? Is anyone getting some goosebumps or some movement, and they're like, yeah, I want to move my body? Yeah, cool. We're going to move our bodies in a minute. So as I was tuning in today, things shifted a little bit, and I was like, cool. And I was in this energy of okay, I'm going to prepare for this. I'm really excited. And normally I was going to take us on this really beautiful journey, and we still might get to the journey, but first there's going to be an activation, and it feels quite lifting instead of a deep dive. I thought we were going to go deep diving, but we're going to go up. So that's what's going to happen. But I'm just going to share with you first. I want to talk about desire. And I want to talk about manifestation from this place of feeling and embodiment. So I know that part of your worksheets, because I was in the group and I was having a look, was around really getting clear on your values and getting clear on what you want and getting clear on the specifics of the income and the vision and all these pieces. Have you guys really dived into that? You feel really clear about those pieces for yourselves? Amazing. So I want to take this to the next level. And I want you to get your pens and paper out. This for me is the embodiment of vision and the embodiment of business. Because if we're not the embodiment of what we want to create, then there's no way we're going to call it in. Krista, I mentioned on her live stream, she was talking about being the vibrational match of what it is that you're calling in. This is the same thing, but we're using the body to anchor in our desires, to anchor in what it is that we're calling in. And first, we want to get really clear. So if you want to pull out your worksheets that have your goals and the things on there that you want to create and cultivate, pull those out so that you have them. And I want you to look at them, and if you can have them side by side, so if you can have your books open so that you've got the plan and the goals on one side and you've got a blank page on the other, that would be epic. So it'll kind of look like this. So you've got the tangible results, and these are like your SMART results too, right? They're super specific. They're super measurable. You've got your income goals for the next 3, 6, 12 months. You've got what your vision looks like. You've got all these pieces, right? And I want you to have them here. So that might be, raise your hand if you'd like to be the example for me. We're going to do a live example. Who would like to be my live example? I'm going to pick someone. Jess, I knew it was you, babe. Do you want to unmute yourself, please? Hey, beautiful.
I was like, I may as well do this.
Hell yeah, babe. Love it. So, babe, read to me some of your tangible results.
Tangible results for the next...
You can pick if it's 3, 6, 12, whatever you want for whatever time.
Okay, so my biggest tangible result is to get clarity around my 3 main offerings.
Yeah.
Which is, well, I've kind of got the clarity, so I'll give you some of them. For next
yeah, amazing. I would love that.
An in-person business retreat.
Oh, yes. Guys, we've got to make the sounds of like how these things feel in our bodies. It sounds epic, Jess. What else?
And then an immersive, multifaceted, larger, I suppose, larger offering that's scalable.
Have you got an idea of what that looks like yet?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay, tell me some of the pieces. I want to get into like the building it out so we can see it.
Yeah. Okay. So basically, and I must tell you, I don't have all this written down.
Okay. Just no, flow with me from wherever it is.
Yeah. So in terms of the larger scalable product, it involves them being able to attend the business retreat. Plus then
where the business retreat is, babe? Where is it?
It's going to be in Byron.
Byron. Is it in like a lush property?
Yeah,
is it like
an epic property? There's only 8 people can attend, so it's going to be really high end.
Super exclusive.
Everything from every single experience that they have, from the linen they sleep on, the food they consume will be 100% organic, the gifts that they receive, it'll be as Instagram worthy as possible, but so soulful. There'll be like extreme levels of luxury, which will help them align with what they want to create in their business.
Amazing. I want to use this as your specific example. Are you cool to play with this one with me?
I'd love to do that. Yeah. I have lots of clarity around that.
I want you to drop into this business retreat. I just want you to close your eyes for a second. And for all of you, I want you to do this exercise with us, and I want you to do it towards your thing. You might have a similar thing, but I want you to pick your thing. So I want you to just close down your eyes. Everybody just drop your shoulders, soften your jaw, take a really deep breath into your belly. So we're going to breathe real deep together, in through the nose. And then you're going to exhale and you're going to sound. That's it. We're going to do a couple more of those. So deep breath in. Pausing at the top, softening your shoulders, softening your jaw, and you're just going to release with sound. And you're going to roll your neck, and we're going to do one more deep breath in all the way to the belly. Breathe deep, and then you have all day, all the way down to your belly, and hold at the top. Soften your shoulders, soften your jaw, and release. That's it. So Jess, I want you to describe this for me again. So from the start, this lush property, these 8 women, and I really want you to go there. I want you to visualize it, and I want you to feel it. Describe it to me.
Okay, so the women that attend this retreat will have so much certainty from the minute that they walk in that they're in the right place. So by the way they get welcomed, by the connection, the vulnerability and the physical ability to connect with me as a person, in terms of they'll be able to see me for who I am, and they'll also be able to drop all their baggage and their bullshit and all their stories at the door. So the way that I want to frame everything is really that, you know, I feel that women need space, and I know that you can relate to this, Jamie. Like, we step into our masculine so much as business owners, and so I want them to understand that balance, and that balance of rewarding themselves for what they're creating, giving themselves space to eat well, to have mental clarity. There'll be a lead up to it, so they'll have to prepare the week before. They'll embrace that retreat, and then they'll be going out of that in a similar fashion in terms of creating mental clarity from what they eat, what they consume, how they work with their social media, and then within that space, it will give them the opportunity to map out what the next 12 months, 5 years, and 10 years might look like for their business. So one thing that I feel a lot of people really lack is long-term vision.
Yes.
And they lack the alignment between what their business looks like and then what their life looks like, and how they live in alignment with their values while creating legacy.
Yes. Yes.
I want people to connect, and this is something I've done a lot for myself, is what I'm going to look like in my retirement, what I'm going to look like when I become a grandparent, what the kind of choices I'm going to be able to make as a result of the choices I make now in 30 years' time.
Yeah.
So that's my biggest goal for people, is to have that longer vision that goes so far beyond the realm that they think in right now, that they absolutely have no choice but to follow through and do the fucking shit they have to do right now to create that for themselves.
Yes, that is freaking beautiful, babe. I want you to stay in that. Now I'm gonna say this to you, and I'm gonna ask you to really, when I start to speak these things back to you, I want you to tell me how that's gonna feel for you in your body, right? To be able to serve these women so deeply that they're gonna have the certainty and the clarity from the minute that they're welcomed into this place. They're gonna have the connection and the vulnerability. They're gonna be able to connect with you, right? They're gonna be able to see you and who you are in your heart and what you're here to do to help them. They're gonna drop their baggage and their bullshit. You're gonna give them the space to really come home to themselves because they're so busy in their masculine doing all the things in the world. You're going to give them mental clarity. You're going to work with them on their social media and map out the next 12 months, 5 years, 10 years to give them a long-term vision that so many people lack, right? In their business, they're going to look like what their life looks like. You're going to align them to what and connect with what it could look like them as grandparents in their retirement. You're going to give them the longer vision so that they have no choice to follow it now. What is that going to feel like for you, babe, in your body to be able to deliver this amazing experience to these women?
Well, it just brings tears to me, honestly. Like, I just can't imagine people not being able to experience this, like people not being given information. It will just, like we say, like we save lives. We can literally change generations as an impact of what we do. And to watch women enter in a certain way and then leave in a completely different way, I don't know. I mean, obviously I'm going to feel happy, I'm going to feel proud, and I'm going to feel so, I suppose, like in some ways just worthy of the fact that, yeah, you actually do have so much to give. I already know that, but when you go through a process with people, you get so much emotional revenue from it.
Yes. Tell me more about that. Does that nourish you? Does that fuel you?
Yeah, it inspires me to make sure I keep doing it, because I just can't even imagine what the next generation will get to experience if the women of our time right now do it. Imagine what our little girls are going to grow up to look like.
Yeah. Now I just want you to take some breaths, and I want you to just allow that feeling from your mind and from the happy and the worthy and what it inspires you to keep going, and how you've really articulated all of this so beautifully and worked so hard. And I want you to just imagine that all of that is dropping down your body, down into your heart, and just feel that love for these women, watching them light up. You might even want to put your hand on your heart, watching them light up, entering one way and leaving another. changing their little girls' lives, and therefore the little girls that go to school with them and the little girls that go to school with them, to be able to change women for generations upon generations. And then I want you to take it from your heart and I want you to drop it into your womb, drop it into your belly, let it float down, down, down your body until you've got this warm, beautiful feeling all the way from your womb up your heart and all the way up your mind, and just let it expand. And on your next breath in, I want you to breathe down to your belly. And I want you to drop your shoulders back and soften your jaw. You're doing amazing. As the example in this can be vulnerable, this can be fierce. You are doing so well. And I want you to just expand it out as if you're in an egg, and this is like your egg of energy. And I want you to expand this feeling out to your egg and feel and amplify the happiness and the gratitude and the pride and the impact of changing generations upon generations, the inspiration, the little girls upon little girls that are impacted and happy and free because of the work that you're doing with these women. Feel that. Breathe that. Take another breath in. That's it. That's it. Feel as your body shifts and allows this energy to flow. The holding drops for a second and you're able to expand into the ever expanding energy of what this actually is. And you can feel that now. And allowing yourself to feel that now is fueling this dream. It's fueling the action. It's fueling who you have to become to bring this into reality. Beautiful. Everybody, beautiful. Take some breaths. I'm going to put a song on just for about a minute, and I want each of you to go on your own journey. Now that we've done Jess's example, I want you to drop deeper into your own vision. I want you to see it. I want you to feel it. And as the music comes to a close, I want you to then grab your pen and I want you to write down all of the feelings, how it feels in your body. What will it do to your life, to your body? Are you going to come alive with the idea of what this is? When I finished Wildfire 1.0, I was like, I can die now. I did the thing I came here to do. This is everything to me. And of course there's more, but it's that feeling that I want you to feel. It's like, this is my everything. And so I want you to go into this, start to feel. I'd love to invite some rolling of the neck and movement of the shoulders and just allow your body to really feel. And I know you're on Zoom, but we've all got our eyes closed. You're so safe. What is it that is your vision? And it might not be the thing you wrote down, and that's okay. Think about, like, what would light you up more than anything? If anything were possible, how would you serve the humans? What would your business look like? What would your life look like if absolutely anything were possible? See if you can allow yourself to elevate into that. Feel that. If you want to move, you can. If you want to stand, stand. Breathe deep. Let your body move. Let your body feel. Visualize what it looks like tangibly, then feel it. And then once it's articulated in the mind, drop it into your heart. Once it's expanded your heart, drop it into your womb or gentlemen, your horrors. This practice works for you as well. And then allow yourself to dance. Allow yourself to move with your body more and breathe. Allowing your energetic egg and your body to fill up with this dream and this desire. So now we ground our flight.
which you've spoken. Bring me the strength to learn to love out in the open.
Now can you amplify the feeling? Can you bring it even more into your body?
Bring me your
Breathe
hammer
deeper.
and the shelter of your
Stretch.
young wings. Bring me your ocean and which you've spoken. Bring me the strength to learn to love out in the open. You are harness. We so proud we ground of life. Our soul sings out at night. Our soul sings out at night.
It's your last 30 seconds. How much more can you feel? How much more can you see? How much more can you receive of what your dreams are? You soften and open just a little bit more. All of you is welcome. As we come back in your own time, taking all the time you need, I want you to grab your pen and your paper, transitioning slowly. It can be a lot. And just in your own time, gently, I want you to write on your page, stream of consciousness. What did you see? What did you feel? What do your dreams feel like in your body? You can even write, since I now have executed this amazing retreat and I've changed these 8 women's lives and the generations that flow before them, I've impacted 80 humans already just by this retreat. I feel alive. I feel full. I feel fueled. How does it make you feel? What is it driving? Let yourself go on a rampage of writing. Continue to breathe and be in your body. Allow your shoulders to soften, your jaw to relax. Let this be a pleasurable experience. When you write down, this makes me feel fueled. Make a sound. Oh, that's amazing.
Breathe. Breathe. Breathe.
Just raise your hand if you're done. It's okay if you're still writing. Okay, about half you. I'll give you another couple of minutes. Raise your hand if you're done. Okay, I'm going to give you 40 more seconds. For those couple that are still writing. If you're done, I want you to look over what you wrote and I want you to start to circle the key core words that are the same. Start to identify some themes of what you've shared and how you want to feel. You might find that there's going to be some overlay here for you. That's what we want to identify.
So I'll be letting go now. 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 I'll be letting go now.
All right, starting to bring that exercise to a close. Now we're going to have a couple of shares. So we're going to take 3 shares. And what I would love you to share was how that experience was for you, what it opened, and then I want you to share some of the standouts of what you wrote down. And when you share, I don't want you to just read. I want you to really feel it. Share it from this deep sense of feeling it. And this is your opportunity to practice. The more that we build those neuro pathways in our body, the more that we are the vibrational match and we're the electromagnetic field of what we're calling in. And honestly, it's like magic. You'll start to see these things show up in your life. You don't have to show up and hustle for 14 hours a day to make it happen. Yeah, you still got to take your action, but you'll watch as these things and these opportunities and these people come into your life. Honestly, it's like the most beautiful thing ever. And you're like, wow, does it get to be this easy? Yeah, babe, it does. It does. So we're going to take 3 shares. This is your opportunity. Leaders go first. Who's going first? Amazing. Veronica, unmute. Beautiful. Let's hear you.
So I started crying.
Beautiful.
Tears of gratitude. I really took myself there. So I saw people thanking me with gratitude that I had helped them with their relationships, and we'd gone to Bali and it was very exclusive, and there was some tantric work, and there was goal setting, and it was just very broad. And then but what made me cry was when these couples were like thanking me, and I could feel like they were hugging me and saying, you saved us, like our children have our parents together. And yeah, and it was just so like yeah, I could just feel them, and it was just so, it was like such a great gift because I'm doing what I love, and then these people are loving it. And I wrote down like some of them became my friends, but I don't even know how they were my friends. And then I wrote one of the things I wrote down was like I was healing generational pain that people had been holding on to, and I was doing this with someone of alignment with me, as in eventually like we were taking the couples there, and my children were coming to different places. But then as I kept on thinking and feeling and more people, it was like I saw Greece come to me, and I saw, whereas I just originally saw Bali in a villa. So it was like, then I was starting to think I could actually take this a bit more globally as time developed. And yeah, but it was when I could feel people just thanking me, and couples that really like just, it didn't, yeah, I was giving them love, and I was giving them connection, and I was giving them the one thing that you can't buy. And yeah, it felt really, I don't know, beautiful.
That is so beautiful, babe. Well done. And so do you think this could be a practice, a morning practice or an evening practice, where you got to embody this feeling of this connection and this love, and these clients that get to become friends, and you get to love the whole experience? And every morning you could literally take 10 minutes to put some headphones in and stand out in the sun and embody and dance your dreams into reality.
Yeah.
And then show up and do all the action and take all the steps and do all the things, but just start from that really grounded, connected place and allow yourself. And the more that you drop into that vision, right, the more that you feel it, the more that the flow and the copy and the sharing and the socials and all of that sort of stuff will come.
Yeah.
It'll be so easy for you to tap into that. And that's what's going to move people. That's what's going to sell retreats. You in your essence and in your heart, not you trying to regurgitate sales copy. Not that any of you are doing that, but a lot of people teach that, right? How would that feel?
Amazing. I didn't even I'm so early on in my journey. But I wrote on a breakthrough board last year, I would have retreats. I didn't know what they would look like. And then when Jess said that, and Jess has been my partner and, shadow. And then I was like, hang on. And I was like, oh my God. And then and I was like, it's just coming now into like God or something bigger or something divine or whatever it is just making it happen. And so now I just felt so happy that they were happy.
Yeah.
Yeah. Like it felt really nice to save marriages and bring people back to love, and it felt good.
Yeah, babe. And it's that what gets us through, right? Like all of you probably know, like how many of you have been in this space, in this game, in business for more than 12 months? Raise your hand.
Kind of.
Most of you. Amazing. So you'll know that it's not like this straight line of like, I'm going to launch a business. Boom, I'm successful. It doesn't quite work like that. You show up for a vision bigger than yourself and life goes, yeah, bitch, cop this. You got to build the capacity to hold it, right? This is what happens. So when we're when we're in this growth stage, you know, I was talking to a girlfriend the other day, and she was like, babe, you know, planes don't even fly in a straight line. Like, they don't take off from Brisbane and fly to Cairns in a straight fucking line. They spend 98% of the time course correcting. What if we approached our life like that? What if we showed up to life every day and were prepared to tweak 2 millimeters at a time? Tony Robbins talks about the 2 millimeter rule. If you're playing golf and you're about to hit a golf ball, it's going to go in this direction. If you tilt the club 2 millimeters and then hit the golf ball, it's going to go off. By the time you get a couple hundred meters down the road, you're in a completely different direction. He also talks about the difference between humans being beautiful and not beautiful is literally in the millimeters of the difference between where your features are placed on your face. They had a famous surgeon and a cosmetic surgeon that had studied this, that the appealing to the human eye was all about the symmetry of the features. And when I was a makeup artist for all of that time, and the years and years and years, it was in the tiniest details that made all the difference. All of the little tweaks, the way that we added the eyeshadow, the way that we did the mascara, the way that we framed the brows based on the face shape, the way that we contoured the skin, the slight shade of the lipstick, the little tweaks made all the difference. The difference between success and failure is literally 2 millimeters. It's the difference between people keep going and people giving up. And the difference is you can have a really hard time on your way to the quote unquote top, or you can enjoy the hell out of the process and dance your way to the top of the mountain. My meditations right now is like, what if I could live a life that was highest than the highest mountain? Will you let that land in your body? What if you could live a life that was higher than the highest mountain? What if you could allow yourself to feel that? You probably don't even know what that looks like. I don't know what it looks like, but I'm willing to go there. I'm willing to stand on the top of that mountain and be like, I'm on the edge. Take me higher, babe. I'll show up for it. I'll step into it, right? I might have my rage and my pain and all the things along the way, but I'm there, right? I truly believe we get to make our life a masterpiece, and this whole journey is about dancing ourselves back into remembering of who we are and who we came here to be. And then playing full out, right? My biggest fear is meeting the woman I could have been. Meeting the woman I could have been. That doesn't mean that I hustle and kick my own ass every day. I definitely swung into that spectrum, but I come back to love. I come back to compassion. I come back to, if this was my last day, did I play full out? Right? And that's what gets you going. It's about enjoying every moment. It's not about the destination. It's about, creating the thing, but how can you enjoy every single piece along the way? How can you be in the embodiment of how it's going to feel today? Yeah, beautiful. Veronica, thank you for your share. Beautiful. Who else would like to share? Raise your hand. Sarah Ann, welcome, beautiful.
Hello. So mine was, this is by 12 months that should happen, which is just having 100 teenagers on the beach. I've got my drones flying over, capturing all of this for further promo for my academy that I talk about. And basically I'm on a bit of a stage because there's 100 of them, and I'm teaching them Qigong, which I've already learned in the 12 months, because you're talking about embodiment. Yeah. Qigong is one of those kind of practices that give you that container, and the person that's teaching me also has mystery school teachings in that. So that's why I find it really important. And then I just imagine the sea, and I had the sand and the kids, and everyone was in unison, and I could see above, I could see to the side, I could see everyone moving at the same time. I had something black on, they had their outfits on, and then some reason energy came out of my heart and connected with all of them, and it all just connected into one. And then after that, it kind of, I don't know how, but it faded out of that, but had them some coming up on a stage and on a podium, some were still down there, like a graduation, and they were graduating from something, and they were standing there, and I think it's kind of like a process that they've been through with me, and Qigong is part of that. And they were talking up there, and also I was there very very proud of them. Yes. Also those kids that were in it, I was past, because I won't be having kids, but I was passing on my legacy
Yes.
to them. So some of those kids are actually going to run my academy
Yeah.
for me so that it goes on.
That's amazing, Sarah Ann. I want you to just drop into the feeling for me. So even if you want to close down your eyes, beautiful to paint the vision for everybody. This is amazing. And now I just want you to tell me how it feels.
It's gone right down to the yoni, more or less. It's like the womb space.
Yeah.
It's all very aligned, and I can feel every cell in this front section very aligned with what I've just said.
So beautiful. You got moments of pride and inspiration and legacy. Is there more words that come to you?
Accomplishment beyond anything that I'd envisioned.
Yes. Yes. Beautiful. Take a breath. Drop your shoulders, expand that out, allow yourself to receive that vision. Everybody witnessing, I want you to visualize her vision and send her love. This is how we group manifest. So beautiful. Sarah Ann, do you think that you can bring yourself back to this space morning and night to see this come into reality quickly?
Yes.
Yes, amazing. Congratulations. Well done. Well done. Thank you, sister. Thank you for sharing. Who's next? Lucky number 3. Yes, Charlie.
Yeah, that was such a beautiful experience. I'm a triple Piscean, so visualizing is big for me, but what I found and what I wanted to share was that I didn't actually see anything.
Yep.
But I was completely in my body, and it's been a transition over the last couple of years for my intuition to not be out here and feel really earthed.
Yes.
So then when we came back and we allowed ourselves to write, it was like my legacy is alive and it's creating itself through the passion of my heart and through the passion of my soul. That I'm radiant, and radiant's not normally a word that I would be attracted to, but the feeling was like of radiance, desire, worth, and that real deep embodied earth. Like you already know, just do the do, just be the be, and breathe it. Yeah, so that was really special. Thank you so much.
You're so welcome. Beautiful. I so resonate and feel everything that you've shared. There's so many layers to this, and we're all different, right? We all have different ways that we create and we manifest. So it might look more like that for you. It might be more visual. It might take some practice. If we haven't been in our bodies like ever, like it's going to take some time. I remember when there was a time where I couldn't determine which emotion I was feeling at any different time. I just thought that I was hungry all the time. That's the truth. And it's so funny to say. It sounds ridiculous, but I was like, I don't know what I'm feeling. Like, what is that, right? This was, years ago on the journey. And now there's like this whole other vocabulary. And the more that I embody and the more that I open, the more that I don't have the words for the things that I'm feeling. And these words, I'm like, wow, how do I need to create these new vocabularies and this new language to describe it to myself. And I'm constantly opening to these new places and spaces within myself that I have to develop this whole new language. Right. So Lucas says that hungry feeling resonates with me so much too. Yeah. Listen, it was certainly a thing. And what I feel to share now is this idea, this concept that I'm really in the development and the works of, in a body of work that I'm really diving deep into right now. And it's really fresh for me. This is the first time I've shared it publicly. But it's the idea of soul nourishment. And what I believe is, like, women and men, all of us, we're all connected. We're all these divine beings having this human experience, right? And I believe that there's a distance between our soul and our human. And normally when we start out on this path, there's pain or challenge or things that awaken us to start to dive deeper, to bring that connection closer. And I believe that over time we become closer. And for me, the goal is not enlightenment. you know, these experiences that take us so far out of our body. I'm like, why? We came here as a human. I want to be a human. I want to have a human experience, right? Let me experience my body and myself fully in this life. Like, how can I create and experience even more pleasure, even more play, even more power, even more of these things? And I believe that what we crave deeply as women is this level of soul nourishment. And I don't know if any of you have done the whole, I remember when someone said, you just have to love yourself. And I was like, yeah, how the fuck do I do that? I don't even like myself right now. You know, and it was coming from somebody who had a really healthy sense of self-esteem that she was kind of born with. And if you're not born with that, you can't be down here being like, oh, how do I get there? You know, without the steps. We have to take the steps, right? I don't believe that we can feel radiant and alive until we've stepped into feeling beautiful, right? We need to kind of awaken and open ourselves. Abraham Hicks talks about this, right? You can't just open yourself to like freedom. You kind of got to feel safe first. You got to go through these processes. And so the same goes for soul nourishment and self-love, right? What we crave, it's like, oh yeah, I'll go and get my nails done. I'll go and get a massage. But who's ever left the massage parlor or your nails feeling less fulfilled than what you got there with? Yeah. Who's ever had a bath and been like, this is supposed to be the thing that I'm supposed to do? And you tick in the box and you're like, I still feel like shit. What the hell? It's because we crave this deeper level of soul nourishment. We crave this connection with ourselves. And I believe that our patterns, our little addictions to social media, to food, to overeating, to all these little things is a craving to the sacredness of ourselves. Tara Lee says that, absolutely, right? We're craving more of the sacred. And how do we give that to ourselves? And that's a learnt skill. It's something we need to build capacity for. And I believe that life sends us all of the experiences, the people, the opportunities, the love, the heartbreak, all of it in order to open us to the capacity of the life that we're calling in. I want you to write that down. Life is giving me the experiences, the lessons, the people, the places to open my capacity to the life that I'm calling in. Every time I hit a new level, every time I hit a new experience, I'm like, all right, life. All right. I said I wanted the big life, so I'm open. Yes, stretch my capacity. I'm here. I'm showing up. I'm playing full out. I'm here. And I also get on the floor and I scream and cry and I throw a tantrum sometimes. And then I get back up and I go, come on, let's do this again. Right? And having that level of like, I've got this, I've got me, knowing that this whole journey is the dancing of remembering, an opening of like who we are and who we came here to be, being an our truest expression. And we get to learn all the tools and the practices and learn from incredible people like Krista and the other guest speakers that have been here this weekend. And all of these little pieces are going to be really solid on your journey to help you become that allness that you crave. So I invite you to understand what is the sacredness that you crave. And you're not going to know straight away, right? You might get these downloads, but you've got to be willing to try it all out. My girlfriend said to me, she's like, oh, you're so lucky, you know what you're passionate about. I was like, no, I spent 5 years working it out, babe. I was relentless until I got it. The same with Krista. She wasn't successful overnight. She went through the businesses. She went through the things. She went through the challenges. The same with all of us. So there's like this level of commitment and relentlessness to the work and to dancing our way through the journey. Yeah. What an honor, babe. I feel like that's complete.
You, woman, are amazing.
I love you.
I would love you to just share where people can find you and find more about you and just give you a platform, to truly being seen on, to truly be seen on.
Yeah, thank you, beautiful. You guys can find me on Facebook. I'm in the group. I'm Jamie Lee Curtis. Wildfirewoman.org is the website. We've got some beautiful experiences coming up. You're going to be seeing more from us over time, and we're just here. We've got a free Facebook group. It's got so much free content on it. If you want more, just allow yourself to be guided there and watch some things. It lights me up like nothing else to hear your feedback about the things that really land. So that's where you can find me. Thanks, beautiful.
Honestly, sister, just to give you a bit of a shout out, I've said to you guys, we've spoken a lot over the topics of sort of alignment and intention and being the embodiment before you go out there and teach. And Jamie Lee is like one of my soul sisters, 150%, without a shadow of a doubt. But like, honestly, I know what it takes to actually be aligned, embodied, the truest version of everything that you teach other people, you know, how to do it and what to be, and how to embark on that journey of transformation. And you are absolutely that. And I know how rare it is in our industry of, you know, the umbrella of personal development. And although we do very different things, it's a rarity, and you're one of the very, very few that is absolutely that. And yeah, I am your biggest supporter, and I love you, and I'm just honored to have you here sharing your magic and your medicine, because you're a force to be reckoned with, woman.
Thank you, beautiful woman. It's such an honor to be in your space and in your container. And thank you to each and every one of you for playing full out today. Honestly, really, you went there. And you men, thank you, men, for being here. Amazing. Thank you for sharing. Thank you for going there. And yeah, I'm really excited for all of your journeys and the transformation after this weekend. Congratulations.
Thank you, gorgeous. I love you.
I love you. Bye, guys.
Bye. How do we feel after that, guys? She's pretty amazing, hey? Yeah, she's one amazing human being. And yeah, as I said, she's the truest embodiment, and that's why I had no hesitation getting her on board and sharing her with all of you, because we've both been a really important part of each other's journey. And it's really interesting, even moving down to Byron, I left a whole, you know, group of friends and family and everything on the Gold Coast. And it just so happened that Jamie and I moved down here at the same time. So yeah, it's really amazing, the people that are meant to be in your life. And it's no different to Luca as well. Luca moved down here around the same time too. And it wasn't deliberate, but it's almost like the people that are meant to be in your life, it just so aligns and it happens. So what I'm really wanting to delve into this afternoon, we're finishing up at 5 o'clock. I'm going to give you a task and a stretch for tonight. I'm going to give you that ahead of time. What I'm really wanting to do with you guys from this space of feeling aligned, seeing the biggest picture, you know what, Jamie, and I tuned in for pretty much the whole thing, because I know how she is. She creates so much engagement in everything that she speaks about, and she's got an amazing way to maintain that engagement. And she did it with me. But, you know, she was really stepping you into that highest version. She's enabling you to see the bigger picture, as opposed to creating something. And this is why we actually put it into this slot right now, is because we're going to create a vision. We're going to create the business model. We're going to do the things, right? But what's important is that you're not creating it from a place of obligation or what you think it should be. You're actually creating it from a place that is aligned with emotion, that is aligned with passion, something that excites you, that you can feel within your body, that you can feel rejuvenated and energized and radiant, right? Like you can actually have the emotion that backs this vision, as opposed to scribbling down on a piece of paper something that you know is not going to come to fruition because it completely lacks everything that you believe in. So I'm going to start with what your task is for tonight. You've got tonight, and it needs to be ready by 9 a.m. when we jump on tomorrow morning. You figured out some titles and some topics for a free ebook. You've got until 9 a.m. tomorrow morning to write the entirety of the ebook. As I said to you earlier, it doesn't have to be a 200-page essay. But right now, you're going to realize how quickly you can create something when you stop thinking and start doing. And even in the exercise with Jamie, you may have realized that there were some shifts, that you were thinking really small. But now you get to constantly remind yourself of what you are becoming and get excited by that and create everything in your business from that place, as opposed to a place of obligation and scarcity. Now I'm going to run through a couple of details with you. When it comes to writing your ebook, you can use Canva, C-A-N-V-A. I'm going to do a brief screen share. I know that you're not going to be able to do this part of the exercise by 9 o'clock tomorrow morning, but for marketing purposes, we're going to create a 3D book cover. You're going to use the site Fiverr, Fiverr, to get someone to create a 3D book cover for you. It's usually a 1 to 3 day turnaround. This is going to enable you to post this 3D book cover on your social media platforms so that there is a level of professionalism as opposed to you posting a random PDF. I'm going to do a screen share of Canva so that you guys have an idea of how you can create this. All right, you're on your Canva account and you are, oh, why is it not going up? Okay, let's go on to, hang on guys, let me stop this share because the screen isn't quite right. Let's go again. All right, you're going to go into Canva and you're going to go to create a design. You're going to type in ebook cover. You're going to see down the side here that there are multiple templates. You can go through any of these templates and make them your own. Be sure that it's on brand and it's speaking into your ideal client. I'm just going to use this. So you can go onto each part of Canva and it's really up to you to get resourceful and find a way during this time. You're going to edit these. You can put your logo there. You can put a photo of you in the background. The way that you do that is by going onto uploads, uploading an image of yourself. And you can pull it across. You can change the transparency of photos by clicking the photo, clicking these dots up here, and making it fade into the background, just for creative purposes. What you're then going to do in order to fill in the space where your content is, hang on, is you're going to add a new page, or you can clone. So if you clone, it's going to come up with exactly what you've done at the top. Here, you can change all of this. You can reduce the font size. You can change the font type. You can put in some borders. So if you go into elements, you can type in square. You can bring across a square over here, change the color of it, and it's a border. This is where you're going to put all of your content in. And you guys are resourceful enough that you're going to make a way out of no way with all of this. And it's up to you to support one another in this process as well. Once you have created your ebook, because you can click on the backgrounds as well, you can change the colors of the background so that it's white instead of the dark. What you're going to do is when you download your ebook, you're going to download the whole version of it. So you're going to go to download. You're going to ensure that it is a PDF. So you can go PDF print, and you're going to download it to your computer. Then what you're going to do is you're going to download, you save that PDF because that's the full copy of your ebook. Then what you're going to do is download, let's go PNG, and you're going to actually make it only page 1. Then you're downloading the first page. This page and that PNG that you just downloaded is what you are going to upload to Fiverr to get a 3D book cover created. Does that make sense to everyone? Perfect. When you go onto Fiverr, you can type in the search box 3D book cover. It's going to come up with multiple people who will make you a 3D book cover in a small time frame. The price usually varies from $5 to $15. It's not a big investment. But the difference between you having a 3D book cover and you posting a Canva photo or a PDF is huge, because you immediately look like more of an authoritative. There's some on there that are actually a book cover. It's got your book cover on a phone screen, your book cover on an iPad screen, and you've probably seen some of even the stuff that I've produced. This is where you create it. So a couple of things to pay attention to. Making sure that you're speaking into your ideal client with the title of this book. Making sure that you're completing it in full. And just to give context, I've created ebooks in less than an hour that were around 10 pages. And ensuring that this ebook is on brand. If you need to be in contact with your partner, please do so. What's really important throughout this is that you ask for help, right? And your partner is going to be that person that will support you. Your ability to get resourceful within this, and the more that you can innovate and get creative, is going to enable you to have that show up in all other aspects of your life and your business. Because how we do one thing is how we do everything. If you've got the attitude of, I can't be fucked, and I'm just going to fly under the radar and hope Krista doesn't notice, you're the only person that's getting let down. Not me. Yeah, there might be a bit of disappointment, but at the end of the day, it doesn't affect my life. Don't let yourself down in this scenario, because if you have an excuse for this, you're going to have an excuse for multiple things. But I'm tired, but my reasoning seems really legitimate. But I've done a big day. Your ability to step over those excuses is what's going to dictate what you can create in a very short space of time. Now, you guys are lucky. I'm giving you a whole overnight to create this. I've given people 4 hours in the past. And it's amazing what can be produced. No excuses. Adele has a baby there. And you know what? These two here will get the job done, and there will be not one excuse evident. So it's up to you to get really resourceful in this. What I want you to do now for the next 15 minutes, I just want to run back over once we have, yep, I have dinner plans and 0 excuses. I love you, Jess. You're fucking phenomenal. You're one person that executes at the speed of light. Jess is a part of Amplifier, and honestly, like, I set Jess tasks and she will message me an hour later. She's like, I've done it. Okay, what next? Like, amazing. But that's what creates results. And sometimes what we're doing is we're spending so much time figuring out which way we should go, instead of just going, I'm going to try that, and then try that, and then try that, and then try that, and see what works. And that's the power of a coach. You've got that sounding board to go, hey, I've got this idea. What should I do with it? Execute it. Perfect. You've got that permission slip, right? But the quicker that you execute, the quicker you're going to figure out what works and what doesn't. It's the same in content. It's the same with brand. It's the same with lead magnets. Everything in your business is trial and error to some extent. And you guys have made an investment to be here so that you don't have to fumble forward and do the trial and error stuff, right? But everything that I share with you isn't necessarily going to feel like it's in complete alignment. And that's okay too. I can guarantee you it'll get you a result, but it might not feel completely in alignment. So this is where innovation comes into play. For you to innovate and make it your own. So what I really want to delve into is just to give you guys a little bit of time to look at the business model that you have now, or what you're wanting to create. Now, as we spoke about, there's chocolate, strawberry, vanilla. And for some of you, maybe there's just chocolate and vanilla, and we can drop the strawberry. But what you need to assess is, number one, you've got something that is high ticket that's scalable. So maybe even in the way of network marketing, there is like a coaching add-on that you can create that's more of a mentoring service that's going to enable cash flow. Maybe it's that you're specializing the extra added coaching for network marketing. And this can be more of a high ticket item. Anything that requires more of your time must be a higher price point. Your time and your energy are your greatest currencies. Should write that down. Time and energy are your greatest currencies. And it's really tricky for us to see that when we are in a scarce mentality. But that scarce mentality isn't going to serve you. You need to value your time, and your higher self wouldn't undercharge for your services. Your higher self would value what you do, who you are, and the product and the service and the solution that you deliver. So what I want you to do is combine the two together. What you saw in your visualization combined with what we spoke about in the chocolate, strawberry, vanilla. And I want you to figure out what this business model looks like. If you want to have a digital product, have a digital product. Ensure that it's not taking a lot of your time if it's going to be a low price point. I'm going to give you 5 minutes to just delve into those details, and then I'm going to ask for someone to share. I do not expect for you to have it perfect right now. This is something that we're going to revisit in the morning. I just wanted to do a little bit while it's fresh in your mind. It's going to take more time for you to have absolute certainty on this. Okay, I want to open up the space for anyone to ask questions or share.
Hey, Krista.
Yeah.
I'll share. So before this weekend, I was going to wait until January and think I have all the kids figured out and just keep this time for like Sage. But this weekend I've birthed 3 programs that I'm going to commit to with the time that I have. So I'm still going to very much indulge and enjoy my family time as well, which is important. So I'm going to do the $7 a week, just once a week Q&As, jumping on, but bringing like 12 guest speakers, 1 per month. I'm also going to do an online program, which is just going to be $1,500, none of my time, completely online.
Yep.
And then a $6,000 for 6 months, which is going to be group and one-on-one fortnightly. So alter those, which will be tailored to the client, their family, creating that connection, offering a breakthrough and lots of value in that. And I feel, yeah, it's very manageable for me.
Love it.
Yeah.
So manageable, sister, because everything is not requiring your time. The only time that you have to input into this first 2 is obviously an hour a week, but totally scalable.
Yeah.
Love it.
Yeah. Very excited.
Good girl. Good girl. Okay, let's go.
Krista?
Yes.
With, because I sort of want that experience in the one-on-one coaching.
Yeah.
So I don't know, like, where I fit into this. Like, 'cause I obviously want to do the one-on-one coaching first, and that's obviously a high ticket, but that's going to give me the confidence to be able to do group coaching and everything like that. So where do you recommend starting?
I would actually advertise, start advertising. So I want you to step into your highest version to create this model, not who you are now. I want you to ask yourself, all right, in 10 years from now, what would it look like? Or in 5 years from now, what would it look like?
Yeah.
What I would suggest is that you get clarity of the business model, but where I would start is by advertising, taking on one-on-one clients.
Yeah.
I would take on 5 one-on-one clients. It's going to build you in ways that you can't even imagine, because you're actually going to get the ability to communicate effectively, to read people, to know how to navigate through conversations. And if you're beginning there, charge a lower price point until you build the muscle.
Yeah.
This business model that we're creating is something that a lot of us are going to implement immediately. And I highly suggest that if you guys have been in the coaching industry for a long period of time and you have all of these qualifications under your belt, don't undervalue yourself. Because I know that a lot of you will use this conversation with Amy as a reason why you can't charge what you deserve. But for you, babe, if you feel comfortable while you're still growing and evolving and becoming better at what you're doing, don't make it too cheap, but make it on the lesser side. And even if you take 5 clients on at that price, and then once you build that muscle, then launch a group program, or then take on more clients at a higher price point.
Yeah, because I think even just doing the 5 clients, I feel like that's manageable for me and I won't get so overwhelmed, because when I had that influx of messages, I felt too overwhelmed to even do anything. So I feel like I need to have that 5 people for a period of time. And then after that, I can step into, you know, what my business model will look like then.
Okay, so I would take on 5 clients for 3 months.
Okay. Yeah.
And I would charge between $2,500 and $3,000.
Yeah.
I don't advise that for anyone else. But in this situation, especially because there is confidence that needs to be built, that's why I'm saying start there.
Yeah.
Can I just quickly ask Krista? I've seen someone else in my industry, and what she's done is I can see her doing paid advertising, and then she leads you into a masterclass that's for an hour, which then leads you into a paid program for $500. Yep. Do you think all of that is necessary, or do you think that it's worthwhile doing what you do and jumping on Facebook Lives and doing the Facebook programs, and rather than having to have because that hour of free masterclassing is awesome, but I feel like she's, like you said, she's advertising to a cold audience. It's a lot of effort to advertise to a cold audience, and then you're probably not getting. I can't imagine how that would work.
Yeah. So if you're advertising to a cold audience, 1 hour isn't enough to warm someone up. If I was going to be doing that in paid advertising, I'd be advertising to a cold audience to get them into a 5-day free program, spending 5 solid days with them and then converting them.
Okay.
But there is no way that you should ever go into paid marketing until you've mastered organic. I've scaled people to 7 figures just through organic marketing. No paid advertising at all.
Yeah. Well, I think that's the thing. I think I've been thinking that this is the route that I need to go on, and then listening to you today is necessary. So yeah, that's how I kind of thought.
And you know, the thing is, like, the reason that I usually subcontract my marketers, and the reason that I've worked with a lot of marketers over the years that do all of my paid ads. While I know how to do them myself, it just takes a whole lot of my time that is better off prioritized somewhere else. So the reason marketers love to work with me so much is because I'm so omnipresent, and I do so much organic marketing. Because the thing is, if we are talking about brand fluidity like we did earlier today, if you've got paid marketing that's going out there, and then these people are coming back and they're having a look at your social media profiles and it's like crickets, they're not going to stay in the nurturing sequence.
Yeah.
Right? The reason that my paid marketing works so effectively is because I do so much organic and I'm offering so much value. So if I even go out to a cold audience, they come in and they're getting so much free value here, as opposed to just relying on that. Yeah.
Right.
Focus on this, and you'll absolutely see traction. And then what I suggest is, if you're doing paid marketing simply to get leads, you need to know that you've got to be patient, because you've got to build brand first. So my intention with paid marketing isn't usually to get leads, it's to have brand awareness out to people that don't know me yet. Yeah.
Question, Krista. Can you hear me okay? How do you think you're in proximity to a lot of coaches?
Yeah.
If I was to have, and obviously my business model is like a huge network with a small investment.
Yeah.
Would coaches be open to like a referral? Say, obviously it's coming into the space where child protection, child advocacy, family support. If there was like links to, psychologists that specialize in this area, do you think coaches would be open for some kind of rebate? So if I send them the lead, would that be something that would be part of a business model? I could somehow.
Absolutely. So I usually offer, and this is great for all of you as well, I usually offer a 10% commission on anyone that's recommended to me. So if someone comes to me and spends $25,000 and they're your contact, you'll get $2,500.
Yep, cool.
Board.
Yeah, awesome. Thank you. Cool. I'll give that a thought.
I was actually playing with, because I was thinking about, during Jamie's thing, I was thinking about for you what you could potentially do. And I know that there are a lot of heart-centered, coaches and leaders and healers, and there's probably a whole number of people in this group that would be willing to contribute. I would start a subscription group, and I would.
That's on my list. Yep.
Yeah. Yep. I would leverage them, and then the subscription goes to it as a donation.
Exactly. Yep. That was part of my plan. Yeah. Great. Cool. Yay. Thank you.
And a subscription group is something that's really cool, actually. I've spoken to a lot of my clients that I'm working with, some of you that are on here, about subscription groups, because, no one notices $7 a week. But if you have 1,000 people at $7 a week, that's $7,000.
It's exactly where I was coming from with the $2 and lots of people. Yep. Exactly. Love it.
Em, do you have a question, babe?
Yeah, thanks. So do you recommend like the whole discovery call process?
No.
So you just warm people up and then sell them straight into one of the offerings?
Yeah, so I've never used the discovery call process ever. And when I did NLP, it was for the second time. So I already had, like with Luke, I already had sort of a lot of knowledge around business. And it was really just as sort of something that I wanted to, do over to learn more. This discovery call never made much sense to me. because I believe that the more that you offer, the more willing they are to buy. And what didn't feel good is that the discovery call ended up being a sales call at the back end. So I didn't understand why they were paying for the discovery call if they were going to be pitched.
Yeah, I've found that. Like I do like a free call where I'm like, let's have a chat.
Yeah.
And then to then sell them another call that's like the same thing, but then you're going to sell them something else. It just felt weird to me. So I've never really done it. But yeah, I just thought I'd check.
Don't do it, sister. It just feels icky. And I never understood it because I was like, it's jumping through too many loops. When someone gets on a phone with you, you've already built enough trust to get them on the phone. And then it's your responsibility to sell them into something else, not just like a random discovery call that then you're, prolonging the sales process.
Hey, Krista. I obviously know the discovery call script that you guys are all talking about, but one thing, since I've obviously been with you, I don't use those scripts anymore. But one thing I found as well is that if you have a more qualifying process before you get on the phone, rather than going into a cold discovery call, then they're more qualified to be sold into it anyway.
Yeah.
And does that make sense, Emma?
Sorry, I think my brain's fried. I'm like, I can see your mouth moving, and I'm like, I don't know what's going on.
I just would say that if they're more qualified for your program rather than just a cold call, then it makes it easier to just have the one call that is essentially a sales call rather than trying to, what Krista said, prolong it when you don't even know if they're a fit at all.
Yeah, because it just didn't seem right to me to charge someone for a sales call. Like, at least if I'm offering them a free call and then I'm giving them some value and then I'm able to give them my offering, it's like, that seems fair to me. But to be like, hey, I'm going to charge you $97 to basically upsell you, I was just like, huh? Yeah, cool. Okay, good.
Yeah.
Krista,
yes.
With network marketing, I'm just really trying to get my head around how this all slots into it. So would a retreat be something that could be classified as high ticket for network marketing?
Totally. I would look beyond network marketing, sister. And that applies for everyone that's in network marketing. Network marketing can be absolutely amazing, but I would start looking into other streams of income that can actually build brand and benefit your network marketing business, as opposed to having that as your primary focus.
Yeah, and that's what I want. I want to build my brand that's, I guess, in line with the network marketing, as you said, so I can slot it in. It's just, getting that clarity on what my brand is. That's where I'm still stuck. But yeah, the work in progress.
Like what company are you with?
Juice Plus.
Juice Plus as well.
Yeah.
So it's all going to be around health and wellness.
Yep.
Yeah.
And
I would totally align with that.
Yeah, well, that's it. And because I'm right now in the thick of being a mum, that's also a part of it as well, like parenting. It's just trying to, I guess, find something and run with it.
Yeah, definitely. And it'll come to you, sister. But if you just keep everything aligned with, you could do a retreat that, you would charge for, but it's once again, building your brand, bringing people into your vortex. And it's going to be another form of income. You can charge 3, 4, 5, however much, $5,000 for a retreat. And it could be all around the same principles that you are using in your business. So it could be all around health and wellness and yoga and meditation. And you can leverage other people that you know as well.
Yeah.
All about clean eating, and then you've built the know, like, and trust within these people, and then they're going to want more. It's just that the more people you're in contact with, the more leverage you've got.
Right. Okay. Thank you.
Pleasure. Okay, guys, I'm going to let you all go, and I ask for you to delve into this ebook, get some good food into you, have a good night's sleep. But you've got until 9 o'clock tomorrow morning. And some of you may even want to wake up early and delve into it then when you're feeling really effective. But that is going to be the deadline. So I look forward to what you guys have created. The replay is going to go up into the group. And I look forward to what we're going to delve into tomorrow. It's going to be pretty freaking phenomenal. Okay? Love you guys. Bye.